From where we had left off, you guys were jogging down the hallways. It seems as though you're fairly close to where apparently there was a technician that was associated with the Law and Awe, or at least he was the acting technician on site. From what you'd got, there's a vague references. You don't know if he's in storage or anything else other than he is still active and he is within this chamber that you're leading up to. You're in a large tunnel system that's the equivalent of probably like a 3-lane highway that's leading down these corridors. You have passed that large antechamber that seemed to have skeletal bones and remains. Mm-hmm. You're not sure how they specifically died, other than there were pieces of equipment broken around. You were able to pull up a terminal at just a random point when you had tried to. It was a little bit tricky, but given enough time and familiarity, you think it would become fairly easy. And what else do we have here? You were staying back B to set up some force fields, and it's a decentralized power system, so spreading them out is more effective.
Barely teleport.
Browning was staying back to set up a jerry-rigged camera system that'll get off a shot. Did Browning ever say what he wanted to set that to?
He didn't. I suspect he's going to go very high.
Okay.
Yep.
But I don't.
He's overconfident, so yeah.
I told you and him, set the yield. I don't care if the party gets caught in the secondary blast.
Yeah.
You might want to audit his yield selection.
You know at 32 that it could ignite the just the air in here, but then again you have force fields up, so you don't know. It would be a terrible blast. It would be like it wouldn't even be a missile. I would say like a small atomic weapon went off.
I'll audit
As I said with 32, you don't know why someone would have a setting like that on the gun because they may not survive it, but maybe there was some mechanism, or you're not sure how the gun works specifically. You've never tried it on higher than 1.
When you jump from bodies to bodies, though, and you really don't care about the firing device anymore.
If you were some sort of body hopper, then it probably wouldn't matter.
Don't worry, I'm the last man out. 32.
I'll audit his power selection and dial it down from 32 to 20.
Okay, that's still going to be pretty big.
That's my best judgment.
The equivalent, I would say, so you have a GURPS term. You're looking at an electrical lightning strike, where a standard is from somewhere from 6 to 9 dice for being hit by lightning. It's survivable by a human. 20 would be the equivalent of 120 dice of damage. So like a bunker buster.
I'll dial it down to 15.
Okay.
You're
looking at about 90 dice.
That's still a lot.
Yeah. Did you
so
read
now
that?
you're going to trip and hit your ring, huh?
I got to lock him on the...
Mind you, most of this is
heels.
being channeled through some sort of field mechanism directly forward. You don't even know how it doesn't ground out immediately near you.
Right.
So it's using some sort of unknown science. It might be safe for the person to fire it. At 32, you just don't know how the gun works. Yeah. Theoretically, there could be some sort of field that directs all of it directly forward.
Yep.
But
theory.
Then again, just the math tells you that no, that would be horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Do I think we could get more than one shot off with his hodgepodge
actuator?
It's going to get disintegrated after the first
It's going to heat up the air, and there's most likely going to be a backblast, which is probably going to knock over his kind of crude aperture, right? Not aperture, but his crude mechanism he has set up here pointed down the hallway.
You just tell him to stand up there and put his foot against it?
I'm dialing this thing down to 10. I'm going to explain it to him, so that way we can get multiple shots, even though I don't think we can. I see
your dress blowing up in front of your face.
You're not sure if the device would survive.
I do take out my chronometer and I activate it.
Okay.
Your what?
I'll tell you in 5 minutes.
Nothing you need to worry about.
They started ticking.
There you go. So now you should dial it up to 32. And then when you come back, you'd be like, that didn't work. Let's try 18.
From what you understand, this is purely electrical energy. So if, say, you were to stay behind and fire it, and then you, move over to a different dimension, you would be protected from the backblast. But that would only be whoever's wearing the ring.
Right.
So the other PCs are continuing to move right now. You were setting up force fields.
It wouldn't be our future selves that would still continue on with you. It would be our past selves that would continue on with you.
So you're playing around with this, and you can take some time and decide what you ultimately want to go with here. As you guys are continuing on, it probably takes... You can give me an auto-hypnosis. You'll be slightly behind the group if you want to. It's only going to be a couple seconds, depending on how much you make the roll by. It's just that's a couple more seconds of time.
4, 9, 8. By 8?
By 8? Okay.
Remember to tell us when you fire that damn thing.
So that'll be a +3, I want to say.
Fire in the hole,
Otherwise,
you
well, depending on whether or
You
not
lean
there's
back
a
and just kind of keep an eye on both sides.
there's a wall at the far end, and depending if that's open or not, you will definitively know when the weapon is fired.
Oh, right. But I wanted to know before I was deafened by the thunderclapping.
Do I know
Take a
if
close space.
deflect harm also protects against electricity?
From what you understand, it would not protect against it. Electrons wouldn't be stopped. Some of the pressure wave would be stopped by deflect harm, but no, in general, you would not be protected. All right.
Neither would prime, huh?
Prime might have some minor effect against it, but no, the vast majority of it's going to bleed over. You need something to either redirect the energy or protect yourself from electricity, fire.
I shout back, B, let us know when they get to the first force field. We need to know their progress.
They already passed that force field that you had set up down the corridor. You imagine that you still have about 14, 15 minutes. But you put down a couple force fields, and it looks like it took the first one some time to get through. There's another wave that's probably 20 minutes away, and depending on how they operate, they seem to be able to get through the fields. It's slowing them down.
Yep, that's what we want.
Electricity is an element, correct?
An element? Well,
would wine of bass protect me against it?
if it was naturally occurring, yes. Mystical origin, no. You're not sure how the guns would work. Do you have Fomtech?
That I don't.
You have no fucking idea. 50-50.
Yeah, it's probably worse than that, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Otherwise, I'd probably say about 3 or 4 minutes pass. So let's say 5 minutes pass. So your object does charge.
Did we get to the wall?
There's still not to the current one that B is near. You guys are currently set there. You can decide what you want to do for that.
I'm moving 100 feet down the hallway
Okay.
to the next.
What's
spot.
your movement?
5.
5. Okay.
Sorry, 7.
You know, am I moving
Do I-
down
Sorry,
with the
5.
professor?
It is 5.
Yep. I'm assuming everyone else is moving down.
Yep.
I believe you're all moving around 5 because that was the slowest person.
Yeah.
Or it might have been 6, but still, it's pretty close.
Do we see any of them?
From where you guys are, you had turned the T-junction and headed down here. If anyone's going to see him, B's going to see him first when they turn around the corner.
While we're running, I'm going to try to send shallows in here to see if there's a break in
Okay.
any of
Awesome.
You'd done a little bit forward, or was it farther back, I believe, but you can make another roll. Otherwise, you approach the far large wall. You assume that it said there was something down here, at least according to B, so you should be able to move through the wall, but you're not for certain.
Right, through the
Straight
wall
up.
we go.
Okay, you can give me a will roll. I'll assume the professor gives you a +3.
Straight up on send shallows.
Send shallows. In the nearby area, no. Whatever the hell this material's made out of, it seems to have... You don't know if it's intentional or it's a side effect, but it dampens mystical energies. At least spiritually, and you've seen the same thing happen, at least with teleports. That's what Hunter had told you prior. When he had teleported through here, it somehow filtered out people's primal energy.
Yep.
Yeah. I made it by 7, but you said the professor gives me a +3.
+3.
Okay, so by 10.
You guys spend some time, probably about 15 seconds later, you make a large enough hole for y'all to move through. In this particular, it's a larger antechamber. Unfortunately, it looks very similar to the one in Australia. It seems to be some sort of storage with
Tubes.
Raiders of the Last Ark crates leading up to an unseeable ceiling,
Okay.
and then just continuing on as far as you can see. So he's supposedly in here.
Okay. I have her pull a console out of the wall and start.
Okay. Can you get some dice from me?
I'll we're all in.
You're here too, Trevor. So
I know.
All 4 of us? Or 3?
I can't really.
pretty
access
much
the
everyone
console.
except Browning.
And B.
You have no idea tracking Zykes where the fuck he goes.
So do I see like Browning and B at the end of the hallway running
yeah,
towards
they're
us?
probably, as I said, probably about 6 minutes behind you.
Okay, so what I'm
So
so what I'd
yeah.
like to do is like to open up a fold space, and basically in front of them, like say time it so it's about 20 feet in front of them. So when they get to it, they'll then run to the end of the hallway, and I shout to them, "You're going into a fold space."
okay. Theoretically, if they feel the
They're
perception,
gonna lose
it
their feet.
could-
Yeah, good.
It's not going to be that bad, but essentially they're going to instantly
Yep.
move 300 meters a second, or 700 meters a second.
Right.
Something's moving 700
You hear down the corridor,
You are.
there is a faint humming of wind coming from the other direction, but I would say you can hear Hunter yell that he's going to open up a fold space effect as you guys are running.
Okay.
You can give me a fold space.
Just stay in the middle of the hallway, you'll be fine.
You do
I mean, it's
cast
basically
trace.
a straight shot.
It's a straight shot.
You're right. He yells at me because someone could lose a foot, but
Count
he's
trace.
going to do it in the middle of combat.
Well, yeah. This is the time that needs to be done.
Catch race by 5.
Let's see
5.
what's that.
Okay,
9,
so you get a what
So
have you.
4.
A +3 on your next Dex-related roll.
Okay. Might as well just pack that up now.
So success by 4.
Yeah, generally you want to use those magics before it actually happens.
Yep.
So success by 4. You can see B. Yeah, you can open up a large enough aperture. Well, I would say probably enough to fit a large Buick through, but you do touch the ground.
Okay.
So unless B totally freaks out for some unknown reason and runs off to the side, it's not completely covering the corridor.
Okay. If they just keep on the straight line.
Otherwise, you
it'll be
guys can
fine.
give me a perception at I should say you and Browning can get a perception at +2. Browning actually will give you a +1. It seems as though he has he instantly feels when magic's happening.
It's like, no, go right there.
Yep. He's
So
been,
you want me to
other
give
than
you a
he is
perception
still
roll?
Browning, he
+1.
seemed to have an odd awareness of things happening recently. Like as
Holy
people are
shit!
casting
Critical
spells.
success.
What did
Oh, you don't need perception. This is just for them. So you can suck on those 3 because you didn't need it.
You didn't need it. That was a practice roll. Way to burn it out of your system.
By 3, you can see the aperture. You can see kind of a faint edge. The only problem with some of these fold spaces is it's really just bent light around the edges, so you can't necessarily. In a darkened corridor, you could easily just take your head off.
So if a blast comes that way, can
I
you
do
fold
kind of
space?
make myself small as I go running.
It looks
through
well enough large for you to get through. It looks
Can you
like it
hold the
touches
space
the
if
ground
that blast
completely,
comes this way
so you do kind of jump and kind
Funnel
of
it
go
back at
through.
them?
Yeah.
Try.
I would say you don't have body sense, so it just takes you a second on the other
Yeah, I
side.
feel better.
As I said
Or
before,
at least
did you
put
get the
it up against
description
the
of the
wall.
room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get the description of the room when I said it last time?
No.
It's very similar to the site in Australia, albeit it's probably smaller. You can't tell for certain. But interior is what appear to be those stasis cubes stacked up in kind of hovering positions as far as you can see down in rows. Supposedly he's in here, it's just where.
It's like Where Goes 13.
Otherwise, all you guys move through the area.
Why don't you try to erect a force field on the other side here?
Yep.
And Professor's is looking for...
Supposedly you have about 6 minutes prior to the first group hitting the first field that you made.
Who are we looking for?
You made 2 more fields.
the technician who hopefully knows about Lana.
We're looking for a technician now?
That's what he's been telling us from
If you
the
remember
start.
from last session, you were searching for a law na, and there was no specific record. However, it said that you should, when you try to activate the self-defense of this structure, at least guessing how it might, like trying to hit whatever red button technically there might be, it said that there's an active technician here. And I suppose this is all interpreted through B and the professor, so you guys might be following a wild goose chase.
Yep.
But from your understanding, it said there was an active technician for the facility, and you'd imagine he might know more regarding this. Otherwise, you could have spent more time looking for Lana, but you guys decided to run, given that there was something that was following you.
I'll try to make a control panel.
You can give me a will roll?
I'm
I'll give you a will-based hypertech, actually, if it's better.
Oh, it'd be way better. I got way too many points invested.
I'm going to try to do a shroud mu symbol.
Okay. What are you trying to carve it into, or are you trying to do it with fairy fire?
Fairy fire.
Okay.
I'm pulling it. I rolled a natural 4, which becomes a 3. I have a 20, so I did it by... I might even have more than a
17.
20. Might have a 23. Now I have a 19,
19.
so I did it by 16.
It immediately comes up. You imagine whoever had built this facility might have been able to drop a console at any point in time, anywhere in the facility.
Okay.
Actually, I'll try to use the Magi knife and carve a symbol of it into my staff.
Okay.
Is that too small?
It's not too small. It's just that's a little bit more intricate work. So if you're trying to do a large shroud, it'd be easier.
What do you think about disintegrating a significant portion of the ceiling away and
never tried it.
see if the bedrock will collapse down?
I don't think we want to disintegrate.
I don't want to
it.
disintegrate.
From what you've seen before, the structure does appear, if it's like the other one, it attempted to repair itself, and it was pretty apt at doing so. However, if you take out a large chunk, you're not sure of its capabilities.
Yeah,
It's already pretty beat.
Right now, you don't have... You can see a sloping dome heading up. You can't see the ceiling.
We'll
Otherwise,
save it in the back of your mind. We might
you
need
do
it.
have a terminal here.
I will pull up where the technician is and try to direct my friends there, and once they get there, I will...
You guys
open
move into the aperture. Browning will probably stay near where the wall is, because he can't trigger it if he sees something unless there's not like a camera on it.
I'll start to draw a signal on the floor.
Okay.
Well, why the hell didn't you put a
You
camera
give me a
on
symbol
it?
drawing.
You figured out where it was at?
I haven't heard back from the team.
So if you're looking with the what is it? The terminal, you can give me computer operations.
13. No, by 2. Success by 2.
I did by 7.
By 2.
By 7 for him.
I got it by 2 for the symbol drawing.
It looks adequate. How big did you want to make it?
8 feet in diameter or something like that.
Okay, it's adequate. I mean, you could do better given more time,
Right.
but it's good.
Okay.
It's definitely better than having nothing.
Yep.
Taking a look, it looks like it's in some sort of chamber 617. Looking at it as a spiral designation, it kind of spirals out from a center point, but you think you have a rough idea where it might be, maybe 4 or 5 blocks from here.
Can you bring it to us?
Can I bring it to myself, or
You're not sure.
Well, you can always try.
I'll illuminate it? I'll say
You wouldn't have to make a roll. You can see a bright light off in the distance that blinks.
that's where it is.
You guys can see it. It looks like 4.5 blocks down. It's pretty much right near the... it's one up, maybe 12 feet up, but at least you could access it readily.
And it's up in the air or on the ground?
It's hovering in the air about 12 feet up, but it's fairly large. Looks like the size of probably a kind of a... What the hell's an ice shed? Like a large ice shed.
So I want a fold space to get down there?
Yep.
Alright, I'll create a fold space.
Can you give me a roll on that?
And it's going to be by 9.
Okay, you guys can easily make a field that everyone should be fine. Everyone can give me dex checks. We're only looking for critical failures here.
Nope.
7.
15.
By,
On the nose.
by 8.
Okay, you guys are fine. Like I said, I'm just looking for critical failures. There's a possibility that as you guys run, you kind of Three Stooges and fucking somebody hits the side. Those of you without body sense are slightly disoriented. You're still not getting used to this form of travel just because something in your equilibrium is telling you that what you just did was not right, and you should double check to make sure you're not upside down or something. You guys make it to the illuminated point. It appears to be, like I said, just a flat, unrecognizable cube. From what you had read in the database, these are stasis cubes. Supposedly they can keep things... When they mentioned that they kept things in a temporal stasis, they never gave a expiration date. So for all intents and purposes, this site has been around for... Apparently it had collected dinosaurs, so you imagine a long-ass time.
I want to turn on my mental ward.
Okay.
I'm going to redo Catherine.
Take my moment. I tell the professor to blow the harmonic as soon as I'm over the field, and then hand the harmonic to me so I can blow it.
Okay.
Success by 5.
Okay.
I don't know if my
You can write-
head glows.
You can write that down. You would imagine that there would be an after effect if you did a primal flare. That would,
Okay.
at least the sigil would be visible in the air where you drew it.
Well, remember, I got it tatted on my head now, so...
Then that would most likely glow. The representation of the magic is where the magic
Right.
would resonate from. So somebody with a primal flare or goggles would see that you have a glowing rune, and they could see that through your hair.
Right.
Cat's Grace by 3.
So that would give you, are you trying to boost up your previous effect?
No, I already used it.
Oh, you already
because
used it, so
I
you
had
get a
to.
+2.
+2.
And once again, I had mentioned this. You can take multiple rounds casting certain spells. There are certain things that
To boost them.
they're really difficult to do. Like when you guys were leaving Carcosa and shit like that. So it's just once you start to get a success threshold, it becomes less likely that you can juggle it. At some point, you're like, all right, this is a lot of chainsaws that I've thrown up there. One of these is going to come down bad.
I'll
So-
make another terminal and try to open up this stasis
You
cube.
can give me a computer operations. You don't need to give me a will roll. You think that the stasis cube itself, from your limited research, is a form of a terminal?
Okay.
Now we'll try to make
Big
a
winner.
personal size shroud symbol.
Did it by 11.
Okay. All right. So far, the cube seems to lower down to the ground. After that, you're able to open up the stasis cube. It seems to fold in on itself, and a figure seems to appear. The shape is roughly 17 feet tall as it kind of uncurls
It
itself.
look like an upside down or a carrot. with a
It
stalk
does
out
seem to be
around
some
it.
sort of strange conical-like creature.
Yay! Is that a yay? Is that a yay?
You might know what we're looking for. Either that or I apportion his ass.
I can't speak. You try to portion me, just like
The creature does have some smaller tentacles on it as well, but it's an asymmetrical creature, but it is huge. Like it's 17 feet tall when it starts to uncurl itself.
does it have some sort of optical?
It looks
You
as
saw
though
the picture, right?
It looks as
Yeah.
though there's a tentacle head that's on a kind of a giraffe kind of
Does
leading up.
does
It
Mythos
seems
give
to
us
be.
anything?
You can give me a perception-based mythos.
Jeez, that's a weird one.
perception-based mythos.
So maybe by 7 or 6?
By
7.
7 6s.
7.
Once again, when this kind of thing happens, I'm assuming you're all throw out questions and you're like, no, that's not it, or this is it, and
Yep.
so on and so forth. So I kind of take
By
a group
5.
average. If there's a critical failure, sometimes there's 2 people. They can lead you astray.
By 5.
So by 5, all you guys get around, from what you had seen at the other facility and what B described to things, and a few rumors that you guys had heard at the, what the hell is the Ordu Hermes, you're fairly confident that this has to be a Yith. But it could be just a body, because apparently Yith were body snatchers. So this just could be whatever the hell it is.
Could be a human trapped in the body.
It could be a human trapped in a body, other than the computer labeled this storage as a technician, and normally you wouldn't imagine a human would be a technician, but your understanding of Yith so far has broken. So it's mostly like, I want to go potty,
Start
bathroom
talking to me.
cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
But the thing is, luckily you're a brilliant technician, so a lot of times you're like, open, door, people, things, yes, enter.
And that's why our battle plans consist of a box that says "done."
Otherwise, it seems to fold out. Then it does kind of look over towards the PCs. Who did you say had the harmonic key?
She has it first. She's standing next to me. The
She
professor.
blows it before she starts to say something at that point in time. All of you hear within your head. Actually, what do you make yours by 5?
Yeah.
There's a faint muffle to it, but ultimately you hear the same thing as well.
Okay.
The voice seems to be speaking whatever your favorite language is in your own
English.
voice. It is slightly disturbing, but you end up hearing this entity, you presume it's this entity, tell you that you're a little bit earlier than average. And also, also less equipped.
Yeah. We know.
It tells you that, it looks over at the group, spends a moment, and then tells B, it's supposed to start pointing you at
Ask it
these
where
weird kind of
Lana
claw
is.
things. Ring, teleporter Homer, heating element, and do you have one of those wrist things that he has?
Yeah, he has my
The
watch.
flying.
I have a watch.
Does it look like it's operational?
Yeah, well, it's not on, but it's
It looks
Then
like
he-
a normal watch.
he would also
unless
say,
you can test magic.
What is it, one of the gravity manipulators?
okay.
He's going to need them.
Oh, so he says, "Watch, Dingle Dinger, need them."
At this point in time, he also looks down towards kind of where Browning is, and you start to see that the force fields start to cycle down the hallways, like
What's my
bop, bop,
ring?
bop, bop, bop,
Give it
bop,
to
bop,
him.
bop, 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 bop,
I
bop.
give him my ring.
All right.
Give him the
Where-
watch.
I give
Where's
him the
Lana?
watch.
Well, it
He
took
tells you
2
that he's in the
weeks.
void right now, and he needs a few other pieces. He says, other than the materials that you have on him, which should speed up the which he'll say will speed up the process. He also needs a 316 and 11872.
Those are cubes, correct?
He says yes, and he pulls up a terminal right next to you guys.
All right.
Illuminate.
At this point in time, he starts breaking apart the teleport Homer and starts to kind of use your
He's wrecking
laser
my
gun.
watch, right? Or my
You better
ring.
be finding these other cubes.
He hasn't wrecked the
first,
ring
B.
as of yet, but it looks like he's
B,
rapidly
find
taking
the cubes
everything else
first.
I
apart.
find the cubes.
Focus cubes.
He's taking apart the magic watch.
Not yet, but he's taken it aside, and he's only looked at it for a moment and said it was a gravity
Technician is
manipulator,
MacGyver,
so
and they
maybe
get-
he knows something that
It is my guy.
you're not aware
You
of.
see
Duct
the
tape,
camera,
he'll be on the
bam!
whole-
He just wants that broken spring.
So we'll try to illuminate it, and
Illuminate these cubes and head over to him.
You need me computer operations?
I'm just going to use the curse dice. That's all I deserve.
you deserve
You gonna work it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, critical success.
I don't even think you need to roll the next one.
I did it by 14.
Okay. You can activate the 2 locations. Actually, he would tell you another one, 12.
As long as
12
you're doing them, right?
Yep. 12 is actually right next to you. It's probably about 4 feet in height. The remaining 2, one of them's within, you would say, 2 blocks. The other one, you can see a faint distant light, maybe, 7, 8, 9 blocks away.
I'll try to summon them here. The far one. I'll try
Okay.
to summon the far one here.
You can give me a computer operations roll.
I gotta get all those dice for a minute. For now.
You imagine that if you, You imagine if you knew full Yith, it wouldn't actually require so many computer operations. You're just making guesses on an ATM that's in Spanish. You're like, yeah.
I just know this because it used to be in English.
Dinero!
For the far one, unfortunately, no. You're pretty sure it has some sort of functionality to do that. Just initially, you're not seeing it. You might be able to spend some time
It's like, I don't
sitting
like
here
how
and
you
accomplish
smell.
that task.
Okay.
How big is the cube? Can we see from
The
where
one
we're
next to you is 4 feet. The one that is, what is it, 316, I said?
Yeah.
That one that is 4 blocks away is probably the size of a small scooter. And the other one is probably the size of a jewelry box.
Can we look up
The
what's
distant
Okay.
one.
in
I'm gonna
these
fold
as
space.
we're
We'll go
opening
down and
them?
just physically grab them.
Yep.
All right. Why don't you guys come with me and manhandle that scooter?
Okay.
So I'll fold the space to the furthest one, which was the jewelry box, I believe.
Yep, you have a vague idea of where it is.
It's
No,
not
I
like
shouldn't
up
say
in the
vague.
air, is it, or anything, or is it up?
Not for, it's a distance.
We can't tell.
It might be anywhere from 10 to 30 feet up, given how
Okay.
far away you are.
Okay.
How close are the blobs?
Don't want to think about it.
Right now, you haven't seen any yet.
It could be already in.
So the Yith's not really in
Suspect.
trouble of any kind. Did he take a lightning gun?
He's not as of yet. Oh, excuse me. He would have also asked for spare, what is it, Yith gun ammunition.
I give him mine.
He refers to it as Yith
He
gun.
would pile up 5, and then he wouldn't take any more.
Oh, he wants 5. All right, I take out my supply.
Well, he'll look around at everyone.
No, I take some out of my pouch of holding.
I've got one extra. I give it to him.
Okay.
I'm keeping mine.
I don't have any.
I only have one.
Fold
so-
space by 5.
All right.
So to get to the jewelry box.
All right. It takes you a moment to get there. You get pretty close. You jump through the
Yeah.
portal. You ultimately kind of rustle over there. It does look like it's probably about 15 feet up. It's not
How do you want
too
to do
big,
it, Jed?
from what you can tell.
15 feet. It's a jewelry box.
There is a cube below it, and you're not sure if these are, load bearing, but you'd imagine that you could climb up there.
Can you
Give it a brace. See if it wiggles.
It feels completely solid, like it's made
Okay.
of metal.
I'll put my back to it and put my hands there. Use my
Okay.
shoulders too.
Fine.
Start
All right.
boosting you
That
up.
one's about 8 feet up. You can give me a simple climb. I'll say it a +1, just because you guys are kind of rushing. If you took your time, it'd be fine.
No.
You said you were earlier than
average, which means that there's been multiple times the timeline has come
So I would
through
have.
here,
I could use my cat's grace on that one because it is a dex.
which is good.
Right?
Means we're ahead this time.
Does it?
faster than average, at least.
Yep. Hence the under-equipped part.
By 6.
By 6? Yeah, you can easily climb up there and grab the cube.
Okay. Grab it and jump down.
Initially grabbing onto it doesn't seem to move at all. I mean, it almost could bear your weight.
Come on,
Touch
Jed.
it. Will it open?
You can give me a will roll.
Quit playing with it up there. Face sucker.
You initially see him grab it, and he's like, "All right, going," and he's like, "All right," and then try to pull his weight onto it, and it's supporting its full weight.
Okay, I get it. You're a mime. Let's go. Let's go.
By 6.
By 6, it takes you just another moment, probably 30 seconds to a minute, and ultimately a small black marble falls out and hits very solidly without bouncing onto the ground below you. Onto the cube, I should say.
How heavy is it?
Yeah, you want to touch that.
It's like Nibbler's little...
Nibbler's poop. Oh, crap.
Otherwise, while they're spending some time here, from your understanding, there is you see kind of a flicker of light a little bit past the cycling force fields that are down your corridor. Browning seems to be still kind of looking, and there's a faint kind of image you see over there, and then you all hear an audible... Actually, you guys would hear a faint... rumble, and there's a bright light that comes from that direction, but you imagine there might have been 2 to 3 force fields between you and whatever the hell happened.
I like it. Hopefully they decide to wait a little bit.
Hopefully
If I'm on a
they decide
terminal,
the demon looks
I'll
tasty.
see if their presence has been like, or
They're winking out.
Computer operations, or sensors at a +2.
Come on, Jeb. We gotta go.
I roll it. Watch out below!
I step back.
He pushes it over, hits the ground with a solid thunk.
Good God, you're afraid of this shit? I go around and pick it up.
You can move it around. The object appears to be around 400 pounds.
Okay. That's only puts me into extra heavy.
The Yith's just gonna be like...
The only issue with it is just you don't... The amount of friction that you can put on it from surface kind of grabbing onto it If it was the size of a crate, you could just grab it.
Right.
But now it's a fucking marble, and you're
Hey.
like, yep, there we go. My finger strength's not what it used to be.
Roll it onto your tablecloth.
What I do is I'll do a foxfire, make a teleport signal in the middle
You
of
can
it.
give me a foxfire roll and then a
I'm just
symbol
gonna
drawing.
be like, fuck this and gravity ripple and lift it up.
Okay, so you went with
If you're gonna do it, go.
Why the
I
fuck
did it
did I
by
climb
five.
then if you get
Let's go over here. He's got this one. Take it
I
back
have a
home.
5, so 4, so pass by 8. Or no, sorry. Pass by
Search the
9.
info guide, so.
To lift it up and move it wherever the hell we need it to go.
Ultimately, with a 9, you can create a kind of a zero-G field around it and move it. The mass of it, if you try to push it, is pretty high, but you can use its own gravity to kind of pull it along.
Bring it back.
Provided this effect doesn't fail. Otherwise, if somebody tries to stop it, it's kind of bulky. Otherwise, with your 5, it seems like they've stopped kind of on the edge of the corridor and the rest of them are coming.
None of them winked
You
out
can
of
give me-
existence. So.
That was after the effect. There could have been one that was dead prior to you even checking. So there might have never... What I'm saying is there could have been a blip or two that disappeared. It's just you just checked right now. There's nothing
Yep.
in addition right now. Taking a look, though, it seems as though they're kind of recollecting near the edge. You can give me a tactics roll.
I think I even have it, boys.
Do you need to have air tactics? Or what is it?
Not
Strategy
specifically.
air?
It's tactics, not strategy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if it was a large coordinated battle, it would be
Do it by
strategy.
3.
It definitely seems as though some of the back were kind of almost like a locust swarm. They were kind of moving in, but after that lightning blast, it seems as though they've taken things seriously and they're now assuming what you'd
There you go.
think of more standard tactics.
They're forming up in the stack. They're getting ready to come through there. Cut the
Yeah,
power
it
lines.
seems that whatever just happened has really lit a fire under their ass. And they're like, whoa, whoa.
We're going to take a deep breath here and do this by the numbers.
All right,
Make sure there's
So,
new survivors.
if anything, there's more evidence that suggests that these things are smarter than you originally had thought, or at least the ancient records had indicated.
So the Yiths are like, these things are stupid.
I'll put that over the
They're killing us!
On the list of things, humans,
The
20 other species.
The Yith listed
and
them as
flying
fairly,
blobs.
not terribly intelligent, but I mean everything's relative, right? So
Yep. I put that out over my communicator that they're forming up with tactics now. They're not just coming at us as fast as they can, so they're going to take us serious.
otherwise, this large creature seems to be very rapidly breaking down components that, from your understanding, he's never come into contact with before. He's making wiring and different parts from the floor he's sitting on, and he's ripping apart the objects that you have. Even he, breaks apart one of the gravity manipulators. So, for whatever reason, he seems to
He's
be
like,
MacGyvering
magic?
something
Oh,
together,
that's cool.
but
I know how to use
Don't
that.
know what.
We try to go to the
Scooter.
okay.
Can we? Are we? We'll
It's
also walk
4
there.
blocks away from here, 3 blocks. I mean, if you guys run, it's only 3 blocks.
What
It's just
scooter are you
relative.
getting on?
You don't know how much
There's a
time you
Segway
have.
in
No.
here?
Right. I'll fold space. Get that back
It's a
now.
scooter-sized object
Oh, okay.
that
So
they're
I'm
trying
gonna
to get to.
fold space by 11.
Okay. You can easily make a fold space pretty damn close to the illuminated object.
Okay.
It's pretty dark in here, so it's actually working that B is illuminating up the particular points of
I
interest.
kind of assumed it was.
So you guys can jump through. You guys can give me another dex check. I'm only looking for critical failures here because you guys are rushing.
So,
And,
I'm actually walking towards the Yith.
okay, he is from this location about 8 blocks away. But you can jostle over there. I mean, you were taking a couple minutes.
Well, I've opened up one fold space for him to go to the. I'll see him lollygagging, so I'll let him get through the fold space, and when I see him appear at the end,
By 1.
You're fine. Like I
I'll stop that effect and open one for him to go.
Okay.
Oh, you're not going to do your effect? The
No,
one-
I
oh.
did it. So you're standing down by the
Okay.
scooter box, and then I make one for him.
You have a rough idea where he is. Do you have a spatially marked object on your person?
Yeah, bullet.
Well, okay, you have a rough idea of where he is then, because the light turned off when he had grabbed the object, and now
Okay.
you roughly know he's in a dark region 4 blocks away from you.
Okay.
Miss Cat's Grace by 3.
What's this?
Nothing seems to happen.
I'll try it again.
So success by 7.
All right, you can make a.
I shout out to you. I'm making a fold space for you to get back quicker.
It seems to be a corridor leading back to the Yith.
I'll go through it. Run dex
I'll try to-
check.
Yep, I'm only looking for really 18s. Okay, you're fine.
All right, I'll try to open the box or help move the box once I.
All right, same thing. I mean, it's anchored in place. However the hell it's anchored, you don't know. In some sort of 3-dimensional space, it just
Either that or
locks.
try to will it back there.
Could I try to will it back to?
Maybe.
I'll try
It
it.
seemed easier just to open the damn thing up, but then
Let's try it.
Put wheels on it.
Will wheels on it.
Okay.
While we're at it, I'd like to make a giant race car track with a race car to save the falling helicopter.
Yep.
8. By 12?
By 12, you can will wheels to form around it, kind of a frame that sits in it that comes up from the floor. The stasis cube material doesn't seem to be the same thing.
Okay.
So that doesn't change at all. Unfortunately, it seems locked in position still.
All right, open it.
Alright, will it open?
We tried. This will be the face-eating monster.
By 12?
It opens up. It seems as though there's a kind of a plot. There's a 3-foot diameter, almost kind of translucent gel. After it plops initially, it kind of firms up to kind of a thick rubber ball. And then it seems to slightly roll with gravity along the floor.
Yeah, pick it up.
Pick it up?
Yeah, other than it's a 3-foot diameter ball, you can roll it or pick it up, I suppose.
I'll do cast grace before I roll it.
You'd be at a penalty. Okay.
Okay, it's rolled. Penalty or not.
You're fine.
Yeah.
What did you make it by? I would say you had a -4 penalty because the gestures require a certain amount of movement, and you're pretty much locked in from the upper chest up when you're holding that ball.
I see his little
yeah, there we go.
By 2.
Wiggle. It's mostly in the hips.
By 2.
By
so
2?
Cast grace by 1 then.
You get a good grip on that thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
You get a good grip on it?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll fold space so we can go back.
Otherwise, you can give me a perception-based type
Ooh,
attack.
there's a 17.
That's a 16.
No, it's a
isn't it?
16. But it's still, it's Cthulhu whammy. Anyways, I made it on the nose.
Okay.
Actually, no, I still get to subtract my 1, so I made it by 1.
But you whammied.
I did whammy.
Wouldn't it be nice to have luck?
No. Then I'd have 15 points someplace else that I wouldn't have right now. I'd probably only have like a 10 in my fold space or something. Maybe an 11.
Really? Even I'm up to a 14.
Oh, okay. I'd probably have a 14.
I'm looking.
All right, you guys all can give me a dex check.
Okay. Your power's only 2 higher than mine. Only, you know.
By 10?
You're fine.
Let's see if I get 12, so by 2.
By 2. You guys move through the aperture, and it seems like you might have nicked the side of this building a little bit, and it was kind of degrading the effect, so you kind of moved it, and it kind of whipped a little bit. So ultimately, you guys end up outside the fold space right next to Browning near the door, and you're probably about 4 or 5 blocks past
Here,
the 4
I
or
got
5
this.
blocks that you wanted to go.
Overshot. I nicked the building. Don't worry about it. I got it this time. Totally dialed in.
Otherwise, Browning has his camera system out. He said he fired it. He tried firing it again, but it hasn't fired. At least he can't see it.
Tell him to go
However,
get
he's
it.
been seeing a bunch of black shit on the other side of the force fields.
Okay, well,
Tell him to go get it.
don't be
Both
afraid
of
to
you
dial
can
it
hear
up a
an
notch a little bit
audible
past what
hum.
you feel is safe.
Okay.
Both of you can audibly hear almost like a strong wind, and if it's the same noise that's being filtered through these force fields, it could be deafeningly large, whatever that wind force is on the other side.
Okay.
Mind you, it's still down quite a long corridor.
Okay. So this time I succeeded by 10.
Okay. You open up the field, and what is it? You can all give me. What is it? You two can give me a dex check again. Can you give me a perception-based hyper attack?
Succeeded by lots.
By 5. Wait.
Screw it, I'm
6.
rolling them.
8. 7.
6. And then when I lay
11.
Okay.
then when I lay down, I'll reissue cast grace.
How long does cast grace last?
Every time I have like a deck space, so every time that we go through there, it burns it, so I have to always redo it.
Gotcha.
But it's always nice to have because it's just a plus
Yep.
to my stacks every time.
So you think about, excuse me, what now again?
I made it by 11.
From what you understand, I mean, unless he has had prior knowledge of this particular piece of equipment, he seems to be jerry-rigging into some sort of strange... Initially you thought maybe a cross-bridge generator, but then your ring should do that. Some of the elements that he's using here and the pieces that he's using are really low-tech, but he's using it in a manner that you don't think should work. I mean, he's using things like cog wheels and what have you, and then kind of spins them the right angle and kind of looks at them, and I suppose it looks like somebody's building some sort of warp drive out of TL6 parts. And you're like, that can't work. Oh, the light went on. Never mind, I should shut them out. Ultimately, he seems to continue to progress. After he takes, what the hell is it, the objects that you guys had brought in, he comes into contact with the gelatinous material, and it seems to kind of coat his body in a thick rubbery kind of shell up to like the neck area.
Okay.
I'll be like, glad we brought your condom, dude.
He just
Okay.
he just went full.
From what you see, he doesn't have a penis, so you might not be offended by that.
You got 3.
He tells probably you that you need to stand on top of the box and hold down a piece, and it's going to fight you when the electrical field goes on. He says, but just keep it anchored into place. And he tells the rest of you that in the possible outcomes of this situation, the ones where you lost your hold on that front door were the worst ones. And he'll continue to go back to whatever he's doing.
Okay.
What
We should
front
go
door?
hold that front door then.
Okay.
Otherwise, he's starting to take a very heavy element. I mean, he's 17 foot tall, so even though it
Come
looks
on,
really
Lincoln,
heavy to
go
everyone
ahead.
else, he kind of curls it and then puts it into the center. He seems to put it into the center of the ring, and then once he starts to get some sort of weird magnetic field up, most likely using the gravity, he starts to spin the ring. He's hooking up some other pieces that shouldn't work, and occasionally, like, he'll jostle things or even
I'll
kind
do
of push
auto
push
hypnosis
bump.
while he's doing this, so maybe I got bonuses.
Okay,
on my
nothing has
rolls.
happened on your end yet. You just know they told you to keep this, like,
Yeah.
standing on the top of the box. So you kind of hold it down here, and it's going to kind of
Yeah.
jostle and just hold it.
That's what I try to do, but I do.
You are a bracket.
I'll
You
do
can give me a
Bracket.
auto hypnosis.
I complete the connection.
You do get a feeling that if more time was available, you'd be replaced by a chemistry stand.
Yeah. I'm making a roll, you say?
for auto hypnosis.
You auto
Auto
hypnosis, yeah.
hypnosis.
Cast
And,
grace
and
on
one
my
of this dude's
4.
tentacles can't just
Okay.
be like,
So
got it.
+2.
He's doing stuff with a man.
He has like 20, doesn't he?
No,
no.
he's got like 3 or 4.
Did it by 7.
Like, what is it? He has a few smaller ones, but he has the two main kind of
Does he have
claws.
digits on his or claws?
Did you look at the
Because I got a
picture?
plus
I did,
He
but
did.
I
did, but not really.
was mostly
He has
focused
two
on the
large,
feet,
kind of
or
tentacle-like
lack thereof.
arms that have claws on the end of
Yeah,
them,
so could
and
be
then a
+3,
series
which
of
is
kind of smaller
super
draping
helpful.
tentacles, which he's kind of using to manipulate things. The claws are mostly holding in like a large segment here and what have you.
I did auto hypnosis by 7.
By 7, they'll give you a +3 to your
Okay.
will.
Okay.
Well, for certain things, they'll
Yep,
give you
I
a +3
understand.
resistance. All right. So what's the rest of you doing during that time
As
period?
soon as we get to that spot, I'll try to make a small area with foxfire.
You take a moment there. Browning occasionally fires off. It looks like he's trying to like shoot through the field every once in a while when it flickers, but having very poor luck. It does look like part of his face is pretty burnt, but it seems to be fairly rapidly regenerating.
Gun doing that or something else?
He says, "No, it got pretty windy, and the wind went through the force field and went this woo, and it burned the side of my face.
Right.
So it's moving through force fields. It's some sort of super wind.
Is it
Okay.
only moving through when you shoot?
I didn't check. I don't think so.
So I'll do a shroud on us.
Okay, you're trying that with a fairy fire effect.
Yeah.
So you're going to give me the fairy fire, then a symbol drawing, then the thing."
So what's our plan to hold the line?
I'm not sure how we can shoot things through the force field without getting torn apart.
Browning says, "Don't worry, those dots are getting closer."
By 3? Yep.
What's
By 3.
the
So what's the
furthest-
mechanism
What's
on
the
the
field
lightning
that's
gun?
farthest from us? What's our?
It seems to cycle from anywhere from, it looks the farthest out, it gets about 400 meters. You can give me a perception check.
Vision?
So,
Yep.
what is the firing mechanism for the gun? Is it just a button?
It is a kind of a...
Or is it a lever?
It's a button that's on the side, I would say.
But it's
on a holster.
It's a button, not a lever.
Yep, it's a button.
Got it by 10.
Like then, from what you can see, wherever all those things are ripping up the walls, and when the walls aren't correctly there, the fields don't generate. So it seems as though occasionally when it flickers, it cycles very rapidly, and every once in a while one will try to run for it and gets burnt. One of them kind of rushes back. You haven't seen any of them die from it straight up, but
Okay.
whatever the force field is made out of, they don't like it. But
Okay.
it seems as though they're literally tearing the corridor apart, drilling their way towards you.
Okay. Is the professor here?
The professor is probably back with B, I would say.
Shit. I shout back. Can I have the professor?
The professor will run over.
Are there any loops on this?
I create a fold
lightning
space so
gun?
he gets here right now.
Okay.
Like, button here, there's a little loop there for your shoulder thing.
Like I said before, it's kind of like a papoose. It's in the front, and it holds it right here, and then it's just a large button camera system. So it's like you dial it, and you can press the button.
So there's like a loop next to the button, kind of.
There's a harness that's holding it onto you.
How
that's
does the
strapped
harness
around
connect
you.
to the thing?
The harness kind of, I would say, straps over it like here,
Okay.
and then the harness goes around your
So there's-
shoulders and then around your waist. So there'll probably be like a pull loose or something, like some sort of strap you could pull to loosen it and drop it, but it's literally strapped on. The only thing complex about this mechanism is the button
I guess I was kind of asking,
reorientation, so a human finger could actually fire
I guess
it.
I was kind of asking what was actually on the gun, not Browning's attachments, like what was physically attached to it.
It seemed as though there was multiple buttons. B had figured out that there's a mechanism to eject.
So I'm
magazine.
honestly just looking for a fulcrum to put like a string lever system so I could slide it through and be like,
Unfortunately, that's what took Browning probably about 5 minutes to set up before. There's nothing good to do it with. What he used is he just screwed on a telegraph ring and took off the receiver so it tapped the button, and he made the button more sensitive. At least the one on his side. There's nothing good that could do that. Unless you have some sort of clay monkey or something to throw down there.
I tell the professor I'm making a fold space for it, and I did it by 7.
All right, she jumps through.
Okay, he jumps through. All right, Professor, this is what I want to do. All right, everybody listening here, Browning, keep an eye down the hole there. I think we have the professor make a computer console here, bring the wall down, we fire, put the wall back up. Maybe we can buy some time to keep him from tearing shit up, okay?
Foxfire by 3.
The professor is confident she can bring it down. She doesn't know if she can get it to cycle again like this.
or you're not with us, are you?
Over there, holding
You have
things.
to, okay?
She'll try. She's pretty sure she can get the field up, just not
Who's most
this
confident with
complex
manipulating
cycling
walls
one.
in our current front force?
At this point in time, if you guys can feel an audible wind penetrating through a force field,
Okay.
that shouldn't happen.
Well, I'm not in the opening to feel that.
Who can manipulate the walls the best?
Whoever's got the willpower.
You.
What do you want to do?
You, or I'll point at the
Why?
professor.
What do you want to do? Tell us what you want. Don't ask us what we
I
can
want
do.
to make a little nightstand, and then once I want it to move the lightning camera out there, and then once it's out there, I want the nightstand to kind of go.
That ain't happening.
Browning City did the same thing. He only got off like a shot or two, he thinks.
Right.
But the nightstand's doing, the little thing that comes
He
out.
understands. He made
It's
a
not
booby
gonna
trap
work.
like that too.
I don't care what he did.
Okay.
I missed my. I
Can the
did my
professor
Foxfire
do
by
it?
3. Simple drawing by 7.
not gonna
I missed the
happen.
Mew by 4.
We don't have that
No-
level of control
no,
over it.
You'll have to redo the.
I don't think
you?
that's the problem. I think they're
You.
destroying the gun.
I'll try that one again. Can I just use those same numbers?
Yep, you can.
We need to stop them from destroying the wall. So we can bring the barrier down. We can put some fire on them. Put the barrier back
By 5.
up. And we just repeat the
I don't
process.
think we bring the barrier down.
It's up and running. You don't know
Tell us.
what specifically it does, though.
Well, we'll find out.
I'll take care of the wind.
Can we see anything that's through the other gate? I mean, through the wall of the barrier.
It cycles, but as I had said
How are you
before, you
taking
guys
care
can
of the
see
wind?
that
I'm
there
going to create a
has to
full
at
space to
least
cover up
be
the opening. I'm going to funnel it up over the top of us.
there at least has to be 4 or 5 on the other side
I'll
because
say that's kinda
there's
what
some
I
sort
did
of
with the
black
sandstone.
swirling
It didn't turn out
mass
too well for the
ripping up
wall.
the corridor.
I don't care about the
Can
shit
you open
that's
up a
behind
full
us
space
here.
above them, and I could do a Foxfire and then disintegrate them?
Yep. Where do you want it?
Do it
The
above
professor's
I-
pulled up a terminal and is currently looking into the force field situation.
Okay.
Shall we do one at a time?
I
So
can't get. I don't think the fold space will not go through the force field.
It will go through, but anything that won't penetrate a force field will slap right into the force field.
Okay, can I do this?
So say if you're doing like a glass pane,
Yeah.
the fold space would go straight through the glass pane.
Right. Then everything will hit it.
Yep, but light would pass through it. It's just if
Right.
you put
Can
your
I-
face in there, it would smack against.
So
Right.
Foxfire could go
Hey.
through.
Ian.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So
All right. I'll do the fold space.
No. I'll say wait. So I want to. Here's what I'm doing. Force field here, us here. I want to do fold space from here, there. So basically
See that?
redirect it.
He did
So
that.
from where to where?
So like 2 feet in front of the force field.
Okay.
And then I'm making it kind of go over to the side
It's
and
making-
shrinking
Just
it.
right there with my 360
The
degree
kind of
contrast.
fold space that we wouldn't do if
It's
we were
going
going
like
through
that.
it, and then pointing
You
it
doing
back
that?
around.
You doing that?
Not really.
You doing that? You doing
Yep.
that? You doing that?
You're narrowing it down
Fans.
towards a corner, and then
Draw it
picture.
out.
you're gonna draw it out because your hand gestures where you spiral your hands are not helpful. You're failing your gesture roll.
Okay. So we have a portal. So I'm taking said portal, and I'm doing the fold space shrink thing that I did before, and it didn't work out well for us, but it happened. And then I'm redirecting it like that. So essentially, either the wind's going to get canceled out, or it's going to go shooting backwards.
So it seems as though you're drawing it through the walls. Is that what you're attempting to do?
See, here's force field. So it's this size. I'm saying the portal shrinks it down to like half size, and then redirects it around, and then opens it back up. So some wind might escape, when it's shrinking.
So you're just trying to funnel it back towards where it's coming from.
Basically.
So I think I want to stand by this here, where it's going in this side and coming out that side.
Yeah, but not quite.
Not
Maybe a
quite.
fold space.
But it's doing the same thing.
It's the 3-dimensional equivalent of your 2-dimensional drawing.
Exactly. It's doing the same thing, though.
So 4, passed by 10.
You can give me a thaumatology. The wind hasn't stopped.
Is he still trying to do it?
You can't.
No, I did it. It just didn't stop. Oh, that's... So 11, thaumatology.
The wind is not real wind; it's ethereal wind, riding the ethereal plane.
Passed by 3.
Sounds like
From
a
what
song
you can
about
tell,
scorpions.
you didn't have the fold space going through the force field.
No.
Okay. It felt like it's up and running. I mean, you think it's working, but the wind hasn't stopped, so it has to be something that doesn't ride in normal space, which
Well,
might be why it's passing through these force fields.
I'm going to hold the
There you go.
effect.
Okay.
And if I can, then
You know, these creatures are partially matter, right? So maybe that.
then I'm going to do a gravity ripple away. So weak gravity, force field. I'm not touching the force field, but weak gravity, heavy gravity, so another shoot it back effect. And I'm holding the fold space effect if that gives me...
You'll take a penalty.
Shall we try that?
Yeah. I want to do
I'll ask the professor if she's willing to help me.
The professor is currently looking at the force field situation. She'll just needs a moment.
Yeah.
9,
Try not to kill
passed
yourself.
by 4.
You don't think
Passed
it's
by 4?
spirit wind, do you? On the spirit
It's
plane?
not as good as you could have done it if you weren't concentrating on something else, but
I don't know.
there's a basic effect going.
Well, next time I get a chance, I'll amp it up.
Okay. The professor is willing to drop the force field.
Let's hold
she
it.
is not. The professor will say she is not 100% on setting up the cycle thing again, because she doesn't know the mechanism to cycle it. She can turn it on and off.
Leave it as is right now.
Just a second. Let's try something here. Leave it on.
We'll just try Foxfire to shoot it through just in case it shoots back, because I don't want to do the whole thing
Yep.
and then...
Yep. We
Hey,
don't want to
guess
get.
what? Got disintegrated.
We don't want to get whammies. I got you. So you want the fold space? Here you go.
Yep, not a big one, just small enough where you can just
All right.
test it.
All right.
Ready?
You just need 6 inches.
Sure.
I do smile.
You should try
So we have
casting
something to do
primal
here.
flare.
Where he's going to
through
open
that.
up a full space, I'm going to try to shoot a small stream of Foxfire in to see if it bounces back.
Where's the fold space effect going through?
I'll have it go up near the ceiling,
Okay, so passing.
so it goes up along the upper corner.
So through the force field.
Right.
Okay. What was your roll made by?
Let's see. Not good. Only by 2.
You're not sure. You've seen that the other force fields seem to have some sort of effect stopping spatial movement.
Yeah.
It doesn't connect. It stops at the wall.
Right.
Whether or not you can
Stop.
penetrate it, you're not sure, but that wasn't your A game, so you don't
Yeah.
know. You do know that it's possible to move through the walls like
Right.
that, but it significantly drains primal energy, so you would imagine it would severely weaken whatever mystical force you might send through it.
Right.
At this point in time, Brownie is kind of watching to see what's happening over there, and from what he can tell, and you guys can probably tell as well, you have pretty high perceptions, it seems like they're now about 150 meters off from you, and the force field seems to automatically pick up from where it is, so it becomes faster in a smaller area, but definitely it's not going to be much more time before.
How much more time do you need? I shout back to the B.
He says that they usually get through the wall before he's done. He would say 6 minutes.
All right. We need 6 minutes.
Trying to see what I got.
I shout out to him. What's the geology or the rock structures right above this facility?
Jeb, I need you to do something. On the other side of the wall, I need you to make Foxfire appear
He
in
says
the
that
shape,
he wouldn't
and I'll show you my finger
He didn't
tattoo.
check,
In that
but he
shape.
assumes that the area, what is it, above this particular chamber would probably be like solid basalt or some sort of granite.
Igneous rock. Okay.
So if both of you can do Foxfire on the other side, and I'll show you the shape on my finger, and be like, if you can mimic this sigil on the other side of that wall with Foxfire, because you can cast through it.
They haven't been able to
Okay.
yet. but go
I've
on.
been putting up effects on the other side, so they can do it.
Yeah.
So if you can put that on the other
The
side,
creatures are about 100 meters
then I'll
away
do
at
the
this
lightning
point.
coming up from them and
All
It
right.
seems like there's one or two that are ahead of the pack.
What are we doing?
making the lightning bolt
Foxfire.
sigil on the other side of the barrier.
Just look
for
at
me.
the signal that he's got right there.
I'm pointing my fingers at you.
So making Foxfire.
Yep.
Where's my Foxfire? 7. So success by 7.
By 5.
All right. And what are you trying to do with the?
Basically, now I'd need a symbol drawing. I'm drawing the symbol that he was showing me. On
And where are you trying to put the?
Putting it on the other side of the force field.
Okay.
Not close to the force field was what I conveyed.
What symbol are you telling us to draw?
Lightning bolt. Then I'm going to
Symbol
use
draw?
it.
Symbol draw. Oh, yeah.
Then I'm going to use burn a butt ton of quintessence.
6, 7.
I mean, you think it's pretty good. You just don't know the spell.
By 2.
It's hard to tell. The force field has gotten more rapid.
Go, I
and
tell
it's
you.
still it's probably about
Are there-
100 meters out.
Are there any things near it?
You know that there's got to be
They're on
something,
the
that
other
black
side.
mass. It's just you're seeing a flickering of light.
Right.
Occasionally there's a break
Hit
in the
it.
force field.
Lightning bolt from there too, and I'm going to point my hands in a safe direction.
You should put some quintessence in it.
Well,
Or at least a point of will.
I
You
have to
rolled the
put
dice.
quintessence into lightning bolt.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Depending on the type of weave that he's running on.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to. What is that? That's
These places are
12.
pretty mystically sterile. They don't support much magic.
Oh, okay.
They actually mostly inhibit it.
So I'm.
You don't know
going
what
to
causes
lock
that, but
Have I been burning quintessence?
11.
no, just his effect
7.
creates new energy
Gotcha.
in the universe.
I see.
So I'm burning 3
Now I
quintessence because that's what I have in the container
They
things.
give you a +6,
And if I can, I'll burn a willpower because I wanted to go all out. And
but you
I-
wanted to use one of those as the basis for the new energy.
What?
Right.
So you can burn quintessence to make the effect easier to cast. And
No, bigger. I'm using the
it's
quintessence.
the same thing.
bigger.
If it's easier to cast, then the same amount of
Yeah, it's
effort gets you
bigger.
farther.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying that one is normally used to create the effect. The rest of it's used to lube up the,
Right. To
the
make it
mystical
bigger.
entry.
To make
well,
it bigger.
I passed by 5 before bonuses.
So you get a +4 and then 1 for the effect.
Right. But does
And
he
that
get the
willpower-
will for a +6?
Yep, and you get your willpower.
Okay.
So it's a +6.
Okay.
normally
so
it'd be
5,
+8, but-
6, and 4. So I'm at 15.
No.
Okay.
You don't.
Right.
You double counted there. So you get
I have 5.
Yeah.
My dice.
Succeeded by 5,
6 for will. Right.
no. You
No.
get 2 for will. 4
Okay.
for the quintessence. That's where the 6 came
Gotcha. So 11.
11. You can roll. What would that be for? 3. Check.
from. You get +2 for every quintessence. You can do up to a maximum of 3, and you get +2 for will. You can do a maximum of 1. And you had to use one of your quintessence to get that.
Bring new energy to the universe.
Right. So
All right.
normally you would get a +8.
So for that, part of it was lost just because the sigil that you're using is so far away from you,
Okay.
and you have very limited line of sight. Given that, though, you can roll 15 die.
All right. Now we're doing something.
We hope.
It's a bit difficult to see the results of it.
So you
though.
didn't say D6s. I'm rolling 20s.
That might not really be.
Yeah. D20 is a fickle thing.
I'm getting ready to take Braun, pull the pin off him, and I throw him around the corner.
Groups of 10. Let's do groups of 12. So I've rolled 10 dice. I need. You have 2 dice. Throw.
So he's calculating up the damage.
I should have given my Cthulhu dice.
Oh,
6-1. Okay, so there's a 10. 20.
He's losing track of his numbers.
This is so sad.
Add him up. Do you got it?
There was a
already added,
point in
Steve?
time where you could have just. I'm too far away. I can't see all the spots.
Okay. He does have some goofy dice there.
I used to be Rain Man, but I'm not anymore.
Exactly.
You lost your.
Last
20,
sight,
40,
I'm too far away.
50,
And I did lose it.
60.
How far can I see down the corridor?
Especially when people move the dice the next
right now about 100 meters.
66.
So
So if
you
I just go like
definitely
that,
saw the
then
lightning
you're
go
like, bam,
off.
Got it. Nope, you don't.
Track.
As I said before, the flickering force field, the multiple
them
targets on the other
8,
side. You're pretty sure you hit
You should
something.
practice at home,
No,
man. Just-
Oh, yeah.
I see that he can do that with Foxfire.
Like put on resume. I can count
fine,
pips on
right?
dice really
It
quick.
hasn't been working.
So
You don't need to have resume on your
I'm
game.
trying to do that with 100 meters down.
So can you
Clear
move the
distance,
sigil
I'll do
closer?
another Foxfire symbol,
Okay.
and then I'll do it with disintegrate.
Okay. You can give me a roll there.
So I'm asking him to move the sigil closer.
The creatures aren't that close yet, are they?
No, they're about 100 meters off. At the end of this, it's going to be
I'll
about
say
60
move the
meters.
sigil closer.
They'll be on the side of a force field.
They move fast. No,
By
it's 100
5
meters
of
away.
Foxfire.
So
It's 60
Now-
right now, so I'll move it.
he said 100.
Disintegrate, right?
Yep.
He just told me 60. Is it 60 away now? Or?
60 by the time he's done here.
Okay, so I'll walk it back with the.
And as I said before, the force fields seem to get faster in a limited area.
Right.
You guys are now feeling even if you're, I'm assuming you have to be somewhere visible, so obviously you're near that aperture leading into that hallway. You're feeling a definitive burning sensation that comes across in this wind. It's almost like a brittle cold wind, but there's no sensation of cold other than just numbness and that area of skin just...
Any
We
any pluses
get
from Scarlet?
back a barrier.
+3 right now from Scarlet.
Plus, I made it
After
by
this
1.
lightning bolt
By
gets
one?
cast.
Didn't feel as good as normal. You think it did went off,
Okay.
but depending on where they went, it might have only affected one.
Okay.
So he moved it closer. I'm going to cast another lightning bolt.
Okay.
I'm burning 3 from my person, and can I burn another will?
You can
Why
burn
don't
as
we
much
just
will
teleport
as you
out of
want
here?
to,
That's
one
the
per
big-
turn.
We
Pile on why we don't just teleport out of here.
it's kind of nullified here.
Yeah, you can't teleport out of here.
I understand that, but I can teleport us right to the edge of the wall when we step through. And then
I
we
think
teleport
we'd have to go to an...
He drew a signal as soon as we walked in.
You can't teleport through the barriers, and if you let the barriers down, the wind kills us. Anyway, lightning bolt's getting cast.
teleport us before the wind got us because, well, the wind's coming down the tunnel and we're over here teleporting away.
So, with bonuses...
Ask the
plus
tripod.
6.
I shot back. Can we just teleport out of here?
Pass by 7.
You would imagine that you could teleport out of here. It's already constructing this object, though.
Okay. How close are you? I can teleport you in 10 seconds.
He'll tell you 4 minutes and this will be done.
And what's going to happen when it's done?
He says it's going to... He would say it opens the void bridge, and what is it? He'll attempt to retrieve... Or he wouldn't say attempt. He'll retrieve the capsule, and then that's what you're after.
Ah, shit.
Okay. All right. As soon as he
They
does
put it in
his,
the-
So he tells you that the
void.
capsule is in void space, and he tells you that he
Never
could
found it.
relocate it. It just will require more time, and it's likely that he would lose more time. He
No,
said
keep
it's very
working.
likely
Work.
losing more time than...
Quit talking to
Don't
me.
worry, he's
Work.
multitasking. He's still working on
It
it.
doesn't seem like he stops when he's talking to anyone.
See?
So,
All right, here's my
I-
other theory,
lightning
Jabs.
bolt,
We teleport us outside and see if they turn around and
lightning bolt was by 7.
Because I do have
Okay.
a teleport tunnel, not only on
Once
me do
again,
one more
it's getting a little bit
disintegrate in
the
easier now.
tunnel as well.
It's
Let me
becoming
do one more
easier to see.
disintegrate.
Okay.
And then then
Seven,
we'll go.
Then we go deeper in the
4.
tunnel
You can
and
give
try to
me
draw
a...
them back out. Professor,
You can give me a 12D.
I need you to identify where they all are in the tube.
All right. She says that she thinks she can make, if the cycling stops, she can make this field stronger by drawing in power from the nearby room. But that, she says, that's kind of the last one. She spends a moment. She says it looks like there's close to about... She says all the dots are together, so it's hard to tell. She would say definitely more than 4, probably less than 10.
Are they at this end of the tunnel, or...?
She says that they're spiraling down this tunnel in kind of a loose formation. It looks like a wind tunnel heading inward.
Okay.
33.
She says that as soon as the cork is popped, so to speak, there's no way to shut it. But you will say that there's 1 or 2 that are ahead of the effect.
33.
So it's most likely that 1 or 2 are going to get through before the rest of them do.
33.
Either that or we need to
33?
disperse so we can attack them from
You,
multiple angles.
you're pretty
We can't
confident
be
it hits something in there.
dominated together.
We could try that.
I mean, you'll have to do a head
Disperse
count
within
later
the
on to
room.
see what you killed.
I'll ask the guy that's... Is there any weapons
So-
inside this room that could help fend us off for another 4 minutes?
He said yes, but nothing that you're going to be able to get to right away.
Oh, that's great.
Can you just disintegrate them? Like,
I'll try.
So, can I have a bit of a picture as far as how much
Yep,
extra
sure.
space? I've got a football field behind me, or I've got an apartment
Essentially,
building.
as far as you're concerned, the walls immediately at the entry... Okay.
So the warehouse we're in is very similar to Warehouse 13 warehouse.
I'm not sure of the Warehouse 13, the one I described in Australia. It's very similar to
Warehouse
that.
13 just goes on forever, for the most part. Into the Black Hills.
What I want to know is how many angles of fire and at what heights I've got.
Well, I wonder when the
so the
burst
sad part is, I
at
think
that
if we get to use the lightning guns, we're already too late.
I understand that, but what I'm trying to do is get us dispersed so that we're at multiple angles. So when they come through the door, we can shoot from here, one guy can shoot from here, one guy can shoot from here, and they can only kill us one at a time, hopefully. instead of just like, oh yeah, you got the whole group.
Did he take my time stopwatch? It brings me back in time. I don't know.
He didn't. No.
Okay, he took the gravity watch.
That one's building your charge still, so you should probably be good to go.
It's
Push that whenever you want.
It's already been charged up to 5 minutes, so whenever that button is pressed, it is 5 minutes from the point that you press the button, and then you can't go farther back than that.
Right.
It cycles back that 5 minutes, and then it takes 5 minutes to charge. So
You said you only needed 6 minutes, right?
Yeah. So let me know when you get to 5. Click. That would be the way to do it.
this is like a little bit better drawn up.
Or tell me when you're at, 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
So until you're here, you're aware. So coming down this corridor goes on for some distance.
Yeah.
The dots are relative. And this is the aperture in the wall.
Okay.
So the wall is here, and that may provide some sort of barrier.
Yeah.
The force field cycling is happening inside this tunnel area, and this area effectively is a flat wall because it curves so far out that, and the same thing, it goes straight up above you. So behind you, there's an infinite amount of room other than the boxes that are stacked. There's this thick psychoactive membrane wall, which Browning has been keeping an aperture here open while he's been watching them come
What
down.
are the relative heights on these boxes here?
I would say for here, 12, 6, 24, 3, 5
Okay.
feet.
The dots are us,
I'll
correct?
shot
The
it.
dots are you. So relative to the room, you are very tiny.
I'll say to the Yith, if we break one of the lightning gun cartridges, does it discharge?
He says it depends on how you break it, but it could be used in that manner.
How can we break it that way?
He would say that you would need to penetrate the field all at once using some sort of, what he would say?
If we
He would
drop,
say either
if we drop
an adamantine dagger or maybe even an application.
Axe!
application would work.
He would tell you a spatial rift would open it up. Which is odd that he mentions things that you have on your person.
So,
Well, he's a
while they're
pretty
trying to
smart
do
guy.
this,
He's not going to tell us.
I'll
you
try
have
to do
use
another
the
one.
time bridge particle.
because they're now 60 meters, right?
Yep, they're now
So you want me to
60
make a hole so you can shove it through?
I'll do another Foxfire.
I don't think it's
Okay.
time yet because we're not shoving the whole gun, just the magazine,
Okay.
and then you're going to apportate straight through the center, and that should. Of course, this is probably going to be like
Plus 3 from...
What did you have? 2 shots at 32, or was it just 1 shot at 32?
One. At the maximum
There's
power.
32 shots, and there's a dial
Okay.
from 1 to 32.
So it's going to be
And
a
I got a plus 3 from
32
Scarlet, right?
at
Plus 3
least.
from
You
Scarlet.
still do?
Well, I don't think it'll be more than a 32.
Maybe there's residual energy to keep the lights on.
Just keep in mind, it's like a nuclear bomb going off. So how close do you want to be? 100 feet. That sounds good.
I got magic.
Alright, Foxfire by 4.
You're just like, I'll be fine.
Disintegrate by
It's gonna be
7.
bazooka, man. It's gonna be 100 feet
By
away.
7?
Yeah.
It'd be the new disintegration by
See,
7?
that's
Yeah.
why I like optimism.
It's hard to tell what happened specifically. It looks like one of them might have got injured.
This is my only thought is I could start setting us up. Could set someone up here.
Relatively speaking, he's
Here.
not like a full fat man, but it's
Here.
like a small tactical nuke.
Right.
Here.
There's no fallout radiation, it's just a
There's
mass
4
amount
of us, so at least we're not lined up.
Alright. I'll ask Professor how many blips are there still on the...
She says that there are 2 ahead of the pack, there's probably 6 behind them, and she says every 50 meters there's probably another 10 or so.
I'll ask the Yith.
You could take one of these cartridges, set it off like 5 shots at 5, and leave a 7 out there and blast that in half for, instead of a
That sounds
little boy
controlled.
or a mighty man.
I'll ask Scarlet how big can the Guardian of Westus get?
Physical things are just
She's
gonna
never
get you
seen it
killed.
get bigger than like probably a large
Physical things will just
elephant.
get you killed.
So
If I can still do spells when I'm large.
Yeah.
Your symbol drawing ones are
I'll,
difficult to do
I'll
with
ask
the
the Yith
gesture
if the
based
force
ones.
field can
Did you have any
soak
luck
all
with
the
the
damage from a
disintegration?
penetrating
I'm hurting 'em.
cartridge.
You heard now?
You would say at a point blank distance it would collapse, but it would.
It would soak it.
1.
How soon until it came back up, or would it not?
He said it would come back up. This place is regenerative. It would probably take 2 to 3 minutes for the force field to come back up.
In the possible futures, when should we penetrate
fly.
this thing?
He says multiple times. It's whenever you decide to do it.
When
Thanks,
it-
thanks
he
Albus!
just-
Thanks!
what average time would have the best success rate?
He would say that the sooner that you can stop them, the better it is for you. He says that he doesn't see you stopping them completely.
Better for us, not for him.
Yeah, he's never mentioned anything specifically to his agenda.
They're not spirits,
He
right?
might not be in threat of dying here.
They're not spirits, correct?
No. From what you understand, they're made out of shadow pseudo material, and this wind seems to be penetrating spatial areas, so they might be partly spirit.
So Elder Signs could hold them?
Maybe.
SDF.
I've watched what he's been doing for the last 5 minutes.
Yes.
Do I think I could do some of the tasks that he was doing?
You are only venturing a guess at what kind of a device he's trying to make.
Can I just do what he... I don't care that I know what he's doing, but I see him pop the top off, take all these gears out, assemble them in some order.
You think at your peak, you could organize some of the things for a little bit quicker access, but no, if anything, you would be getting the coffee and the bagel.
What's causing the wind? That's why I asked him.
He says it's a psychoactive wind, ethereal, cross-dimensional
I don't
wind.
think I could help him save a minute on what he's done.
You don't think a minute.
But you could go get him his bagel.
I'll ask him if he knows that Elder Signs have ever held them.
He says Elder Signs have a limited effect, but there's a lot of them.
Can I save him 20 seconds?
Maybe.
Is there a way of boosting up the shield for like that 1 second?
Yeah. He tells you something, the professor correlates it. He says you can draw power from the nearby area to temporarily make a field, but once they're all on the other side, they could lash out even though they couldn't penetrate the barrier, and you would be liable to damage on the other side, just so you physically wouldn't be able to get in here for an extra moment.
Let's do it.
Do it.
All right. The professor...
We should get behind cover, though. I mean, the wind's going to hit us afterwards, if nothing else.
General creatures get to about 20 meters out. The professor does attempt
We
to
move
put
to
the
these
field.
positions here.
So I'll tell the professor, bolster the shield.
The professor
like
doesn't have luck. She tells you to get ready. She's going to...
She doesn't have luck.
I don't think she does.
Okay, I believe you.
I don't have it listed as.
No, she doesn't.
Put
Yeah.
Browning there.
So unless you bought it recently.
Where do you want to be?
3.
So
So
you need
Jeb
to
is
be
there.
within sight of the cartridge that gets thrown out
All
there.
right, I'll be right here.
Are you putting the cartridge out?
What's that?
How are we getting the cartridge out there? Throw it?
Teleport.
Okay, you're teleporting it?
Yeah.
Do it. Just the magazine.
All right. However, as this is happening, I've already made some die rolls that might change your mind.
Okay.
So the professor was essentially what she had been told a little bit by the Yeth is what she was thinking.
Yeah.
And she as they start to get into close to about 30, 20 meters, she cuts the cycling and immediately they gain a little bit more foothold. And then she
Yeah.
starts to put up another stronger field. And that does go up, but it seems as though two of them move through they make a hole in the field far too small for their person and somehow just squeeze through like some
Yeah.
sort of fantastic
Like
four
a
member.
giant amoeba.
Like a giant amoeba. Currently, 2 move into the room. The rest of them seem to hit the far force field.
It's on 2.
Doom!
Okay,
I plug my ears.
we're you guys can give me initiative checks. I also need a fright check from you guys. It's not too bad. You
Got
can
me though, I'm not there, right?
Initiative is
You can
double
see it. I'll give you a
speed.
bonus. It's double your speed rounded down.
I could freak out, but it's okay, I don't mind.
You've seen them in depictions before. You don't think
8.
8? You're good.
Let's see.
Do you want our speed or?
Fear check first, right?
Fright check first, I suppose.
Fright check.
The win is price
11.
check.
So by 11.
You're good.
Then you wanted just a speed check.
Fright by 11.
Yep.
By 11.
Right. Okay. And then your speed was
I passed my initiative by 8. My speed is also 8.
okay. 8,
6. By 6 on my speed.
By
6,
7.
7,
By 3.
by 3. Okay.
Well, you get 1 for your combat reflexes on that.
Oh, shit.
Oh, by
So
4.
then by 6.
By 4 then.
By 9.
So, with a 9 initiative, you can fire at a 2.
Boom.
You can give me a beam projection or a
Or-
dex default. I think Boy didn't want to put a point in a dex projection, or is it a
I
beam
bought
projection? Well, you're not firing.
I hear you.
Pass
I did
dex
too.
by 3. Well,
Okay.
I've already used these before. You said there were bonuses for being familiar.
You got rid of some of the unfamiliarity, but you haven't purchased a point in it. Luckily, they're as large as the side of a building, and you're firing a lightning bolt at it. So all of you
I
guys
just
can give
don't
me
know
an
what
HT roll.
All of us?
Yep, and you can roll 12d6.
To subdue, hard to subdue, and high pain thresholds. Fit, and
I
all
would
that
say you
stuff.
can get a +3 for your high pain threshold. Hard to subdue, no.
How about fit?
Fit, I'll give you.
Shit, I see ones.
3.
Am I still close? I need to make rolls. So
You can give me a +4 HT roll.
So 8.
8.
40.
By 3?
43.
40. Oh, that's for your damage dice. Okay.
By 3.
And what was your HT roll by?
Oh, I thought you just wanted damage dice.
Is this a subdual or no? Can't remember.
High pain threshold will come into effect here.
Health roll, right?
Health roll. Hard to subdue now. Not aware of anyone that has
Yes.
flash or ear protection.
Health by 3.
By 3? Okay. What is it? You, you're blinded for the next 3 seconds. You're also deafened for the next 2 seconds.
Who'd you point at? I'm sorry, I have to
Him
respond
and
to my
him.
wife. Okay.
You are temporarily blinded the next second. You can kind of see an after image of where the objects are, but you think you should be able to recover. It was incredibly loud. It was literally, if you were in a car and lightning struck the hood and you're like, BAM! And then you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And this
So-
is just a 2.
So that whole thing about, like, let's fire in the hole.
He got initiative by 9, so...
I understand that. And then he's like, whoa!
So there you are. What did you make yours by?
10.
10, you're fine.
I
I
made
mean,
initiative
there's a
by 9,
blur off in
therefore
that
they just made
direction.
it through.
There's a small vision
End
penalty, but you should still
end
be
it
able to
before
hit
it
him.
starts.
It's just a lightning blast went off.
Saying something would have been, okay, on your next turn you can fire.
You guys aren't talking right now. If you are, you're not aware you're talking to each other.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah, remember Private Ryan? You're just like,
So,
So we're blind for 3, deaf for 2.
deaf for 2. And then you have hard of hearing sometime after that, but at least you can yell at each other like, So who made 8 their initiative?
I did.
I did mine by 7.
7? Did you want to do something over where you are?
I'm just doing what he's telling me to do.
Okay.
So,
Currently, the field is starting to stabilize. It seems as though he's creating some sort
you're
of a
assuming that you
rift.
destroyed them. If you just
Initially, you're kind of
didn't
holding
destroy
it, and you
them,
can.
then
I would say give me a
everybody's
strength at a
nerfed.
+2. You may want to burn fatigue.
Yeah, I think.
it's true.
Yeah, the -2
I did
for
roll
skinny would
decent
apply.
damage dice, though.
So that'll have to do my
you're
skinny.
just assuming that you did enough.
And it's hard to hang on to. High pain
It's not
threshold?
hard to hang on to. It's
I was
just
also
you're
trying
not
to whittle down
heavy,
the cartridge,
so it's difficult to keep it in
just in
position.
case we have to do multiple technical moves.
Don't worry, I'm just going to portion it. Holding it. Hold it steady for me.
Spin of fatigue. I did it by 1.
You're able to hold it in. It seems as though he's creating some sort of a gravity field. It seems to be vertical, as though, I suppose, rather than a standard portal, it seems to be kind of a tunnel like this he's creating. You're just kind of holding a piece above it that's roughly controlling part of a field projector that's keeping the shape constant. And it seems like it keeps kind of moving around, so that's probably why you didn't initially just put it on a pod, but you'd want some sort of robotic device to do this in some sort of perfect build. But there's an odd black film that seems to be pouring out of the object that's in the middle of the ring, and is starting to encompass kind of a baseball-sized object. It
Okay.
seems as though air is disappearing into it, but otherwise it's slowly growing. It seems
All
as
right.
though he's continually fixing small wires, and there's a vacuum tube that blows up, so then he seems to cut 2 wires and kind of place them together and things of that nature. So what he's built here is really not designed to hold up for more than maybe 1 shot.
Okay. I let him know he's got to get this gravity off me, otherwise I'm going to fly in the air and this whole thing's going to end.
He tells you that as soon as the field reaches probably about 1.5 feet diameter, he doesn't need you to hold it anymore, and you should go behind, he'll probably say a 5-foot stasis cube.
Okay.
So,
So 6s,
count to 5 on that grenade.
6?
Once you pull it,
Can I
then-
see anything?
you have an after image of where they are. It's only been a second, they probably are still there. There's a huge buzzing noise. You might be able to hit them if you shoot where the after image was.
And that was a
Shit's
level
gonna
2 on
burn
the
in.
camera?
A level 1
thought
was
you
a
were teleporting
normal,
the cartridge
mild
right there.
lightning strike.
Yeah. 32, huh?
I mean, a 2,
He looks over there, what?
a 2 is
Shadow?
probably sufficient enough to blow up a car.
Right.
The thing above you could have dropped, it's just you can't tell. It's still right there, burned into your retina as the lightning hitting it. And then you're like, I'm sure he felt it.
All right.
Painting idea.
I aim, close my eyes, I push the button.
Okay, you can give me a perception-based beam.
What if he happened to have something like immutable direction sense?
He's roughly aware that the after images, he just doesn't know their current position.
Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully they haven't moved from where they were.
So you can give me a perception-based
I didn't know.
beam.
I don't know what it is. It an average skill?
It's an easy.
An easy skill.
Yep. A lot of energy weapons, they hit where you point them.
All right, so it's just gonna be straight up perception then for my 1 point.
Does it have an accuracy bonus that he would get?
They didn't aim.
All right.
At least there was talk of coordinating and aiming and things of that nature, but it didn't happen.
Then
It was never said.
quick trigger over here. Yeah, the 1 and the 2 help.
Watch, it's going to turn out the first blast killed them both, and you
Probably.
just shooting at the force field weakening it.
8.
You guys all feel kind of a pressure on your, what is it set to, 1 or 2?
It'd be at 1.
Okay. You guys feel a pressure, you're pretty sure it went off, but luckily you're protected from the effects of deafening because you're currently already deaf. Might be extending the situation, but...
I'm just reshattering on what might not have
Well,
been
the
shattered.
youth was talking in our heads, though, right? So.
Yep, it was in your own voice, and there's nothing on him that's making some sort of audible noise.
Right.
So, communications with him.
I do ask the Yith, can you link us together to talk to each other? I say that in my head.
He said, yeah.
Please do.
So, I think you're last on initiative.
Seeing as we're all deaf now.
I can't see anything. Can't hear.
Not
That
yet.
way we can scream at each other, I hate you, no, I hate
Do
you
I have a
more.
good idea where they
Why
are?
did I do this for
You
them?
have a rough idea where they are.
What minuses am I looking if I just do a symbol drawing?
A symbol drawing, you can't see it.
The best part is there's 2 dead bodies that hit the floor and we're like, wham, 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 wham. Keep hitting them, keep hitting them.
Bonk.
I would say a -4 to a -6, depending.
Can I ask the
And
youth if they're
then,
dead?
just a second. And then if you fail at some point during it, you can't double check your work.
Nice.
So if it goes and you fuck up the drawing part, and you're at that point you could normally stop and be like, that is totally wrong. At this point you're like, good enough, whatever's over there. I can't determine what's over there, but I'm going to work in this black box.
In my mind, it looks perfect.
This is the area I like to call the danger zone. I like to diffuse bombs with no kind of feedback.
I shoved Novocaine into all my fingers.
Yep.
I'll hold it until I can see.
Okay.
That's a nice contour drawing of a shoot you have there now.
I could
What were
probably
you
use
asking
it.
me?
I was asking the youth if he can tell if they're dead. Like, or are they still moving?
He says no. It looks like he injured that one.
Do they fear
One.
for their own mortality?
What he would tell you is less so than what the ones behind them are going to do to them if they don't come in here and try to kill me.
Okay.
He says, and you too, of course, but
Yeah.
mostly him.
So I think we need to get that cartridge teleported.
I will do such things, but I'm going to wait until I don't have action. Because I try not to defuse bombs with Novocaine fingers and
Blindfold.
blindfold. Sorry, boys, that's not a challenge. I want you to break both my wrists, too. Exactly.
Okay. Trevor, do you have combat reflexes?
I do.
It doesn't
You can
really
give me
matter.
a
I saw the
minus-
shrug he gave you.
Well, the thing is, he's blinded, he's
And
deafened.
he's deaf.
He is entitled to dodge because of combat reflexes. Just
Right.
the penalties are already stacked on. He's full on blind fury at this
Roll a
point.
3.
So you can give me a defense. It's going to be at a -12.
I can't just use a fold space for a.
You
quick
wouldn't know
move.
specifically where you're going to, and you could fold space right into a stasis cube.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying that you have no visual feedback of where it's going. So if you're like over there, boom,
Okay, so
No,
where's,
he'll be
where's
like,
the
"Here's the
barrier
cube."
drawing? Where's the barrier drawing?
Right here.
Oh,
there it is.
Right here, right
I
here.
was off the page.
You're there. You're that guy.
and the creatures are roughly above you.
So I assume that I was like here because there's no dot there.
No,
You didn't
What's
put a
your
place for
enigma?
me.
I didn't.
Where am I?
You're right there.
On top of a box? Really?
Yeah, I teleported you up there. But I think we were all
Oh,
back
you
here. And they squeezed
teleported
out.
me.
We never got a chance to get to the boxes because they came through and we're down here.
Yep. So you guys are kind of right
So-
in the middle of that area, a little bit
Then-
farther back.
then there's this big thing. I'm here, going there.
Yep, I know you fired.
I know.
You're deafened, blinded. You're. Do
Who
you have
needs feet?
Do you have absolute direction?
Nope.
Then it's a guess, an educated guess.
was
Like,
the
I'm
enigma
pretty
based off
sure
of?
that was the way before the lightning
IQ
blast that I was
-3.
going.
He doesn't need his feet. What's 6 inches low mean?
Yep.
So,
Well, potentially a bad fold space could be worse than what's going to hit him.
So I'm going to put a quintessence into the fold space because
You don't think it's necessarily... Well, you could fail the effect. You don't
I
think
thought
it's
you
so
were
much the
transposing. Are you folding your space?
Very hard, I guess.
I can't freaking transpose.
Oh, okay.
You need some sort of sigil up. He could do it raw.
Whatever the
Exactly. You don't need sigils to transpose.
So fold space, I burn to quintessence.
That's for handicaps.
So fold space by 4 plus 2 for burning.
No, it's very
quintessence.
hard.
For each quintessence
What do you
you
have,
burn, you get a
15?
+2.
So I'm a pass by 6.
I have a 15.
You think it's set up. The only thing is you could fold space straight through granite. Fold space will go...
Yeah,
Fold space will go through anything
But you can't go
relatively.
through it.
I thought it was like fold space can go through anything, but if you try to step through the fold space, it's like boom, you just hit the wall.
That is true.
Yep.
At whatever speed, and considering my distance isn't super great, I assume the speed of hitting anything intermediate would be like in a car accident.
Yeah. So you don't know what specifically is coming at you other than you feel a pressure.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is
So
potentially what's happening to you could be worse than...
Right.
So I step back into the fold space, or you want to
Okay,
dodge
you
back?
can give me perception at a -6.
That was better than the -12.
I'm not. Oh,
So we're down to 2.
You got a great perception. You got a 16 over there, man.
yeah. I don't.
That's a 10 when you
The
It's a
only thing that's
-6 though.
disorienting was the lightning blast.
So I have a 10.
Well, you should have closed your eyes.
Is it
before you
visual?
fired your own gun.
It's not visual, it's a rough... If you had 3D spatial sense or absolute direction, you get a big bonus.
So with the negative, I would have passed by 3, but I failed.
You have 3D too? I do.
You'll end up
Absolute
taking
direction, which is some
17
kind of
points of
heightened
damage
ability
to your
now.
left hand.
Left hand. I give you a clay one.
What's your base HP?
Base HP 13.
Alright, you'd only take 13. The hand does get ripped off.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
What you'll find out is you were actually pretty close back there. It's just you clipped one of the further back cubes, so you came through and you're like, I'm falling backwards, and
And
so
it's
you only
gonna
take as much as your HP, but you still need an HT roll for consciousness, because that would bring you to 0.
You don't know why you're grabbing your
It's
hand.
not initially. It's kind of that 50 cal that hit you. You're like,
Hey.
I feel a sharp pain. Something's happening. My legs are weak. Oh, there's my arm. Over there. Over there.
So I'm not
fingers are
sure
twitching
exactly
at me.
what I should be writing down here.
Okay, so you lost.
Numbers.
So minus.
Did you want hit points?
minus
or?
minus 13 off your hit points.
You would
Okay,
lose
that's-
your
that's-
I
base
have
hit
14
points.
hit points.
So 14. You lose 14. Bring you
Okay.
to 0. Because after the
Yep.
arm is ripped off, then there's nothing more I can do to that arm.
Except for it was a hand. Right?
Yep, it
It's a
was
hand.
slightly up the wrist.
And
I
then
would
you
say you
should-
had the elbow and everything.
Then you
else.
should make.
Said left though.
Then you should
Huh?
make a note.
Okay,
You're-
so I still have my watch.
Make make note that
Fair
your
enough.
left hand is amputated.
Yep.
Mid forearm, I'm calling it.
It's just on the other
You
side
said
of the
here.
wrist.
Oh, okay.
But I would still say you have the elbow.
almost right below the elbow.
So you
Friends are always helping.
make
got
an
an
HT
inch
roll
of
for
mobility.
consciousness,
Okay, making it
and you get a hard to subdue if you have it.
HT or HP.
HT.
HT, it's always health checks.
If you have fit, you get a +1. Very fit's a +2.
Fit, high pain threshold,
All those
hard
apply.
to subdue.
Yep, the
Any of those?
hunter's wheelhouse.
This
Get the
is-
shit ripped off and skin flayed.
So
He's like one of those demons from
9.
Hellraiser. They're like, he's escaped again. They're like, we're going to flail him again.
health by 4.
So you're good, you're conscious, but you have to make a stun check. It means that you've taken a major injury, and your next turn might be like, I lost my hand.
What's the stun check?
So it's an HT roll at a -5. You have to fail by an additional 5 to fall unconscious, but it's whether or not you're stunned.
How useful is Dagon from
Now's the time
China?
to
And
wheel it out.
so at a -5.
Yep.
So I failed the
The Chinese
-5 by
ratings.
2.
All right. So that just means next turn you can't actively
Chinese
do
ratings,
anything. You
what
can
they do
still
are
defend yourself. It's just
financial
for a
ratings?
moment you're like, I think I've
Oh, that
made it.
doesn't
I'm
matter.
fine, and then you feel the
China
pain in your
doesn't
arm.
care.
You're like, that's all right. Shock has set in.
Big
I'm
3-year-old.
still conscious. You might be
Fish,
bleeding from that, but that's
S&P,
more of a I say
Movies.
long term, but like a couple minutes away situation. Otherwise, you're standing.
You'll be dead long before
They're
that.
just trying to get one in our ribs a little bit.
All right, now we're going back to
Warn their
standard
own people.
initiative. We'd be at Barton, who is actually pretty damn fast. Base speed 8.
Yep.
So it is your turn. You can still defend yourself with magic or whatever means. Normally, it's just
My tattoos are gone.
Yep.
actually the tattoos run up to about
That's what it
here.
is.
They don't actually go to the hand unless you tattooed your hand.
The fingerprints.
The fingertips ones,
And then go down
you don't know where the hand is. It probably is just smeared on the side
Now
of the
double
stasis cube.
ketchup in USA.
So it might be recoverable. It might be potassium.
Might just be like sitting there.
Yep. All right. So then we're at the demon.
All right.
Actually,
Sykes join in.
You feel another kind of a heat pressure wave.
Okay.
You're not sure. You're covering your eyes, but you're holding onto the camera. I mean, you feel you might be bleeding from the ears at this point, but probably is the least of your situation. Like, I'm permanently deaf, but I'm alive.
Exactly. They can fix that.
So obviously someone is still firing. You just don't know who.
Okay.
After Browning's last encounter with these,
Luckily, both the attacks were actually on Barton this turn. So, what are you guys up to?
That's good. I hope they
So,
keep
Dusty,
drawing fire.
will you be next?
All right. So my vision clears.
On this turn,
Yeah, how many?
did I say 2 seconds?
You said
Or was
1
it-
second.
So it's starting to clear. It's blurry,
Okay.
but you can see shades.
Yeah, and I can see these.
From
shits
what you
here.
can tell, Barton is still, for whatever reason, he didn't get too hit by the flash.
Okay.
Apparently his senses are still wandering, but you're not sure. He might be blinded and he just can tell they're up there.
Okay.
Otherwise, he's still firing.
You mean Browning?
Browning, excuse
Okay.
me.
Yeah. Okay.
You do not see. You would have sensed a fold space heading off from the direction. You would have known that he could have clipped
Yeah.
a stasis cube. He might be fine though. You can't tell his.
If he only clipped it, he should be fine. Unless he's not a true Nancy.
Otherwise, you can see vague impressions of two creatures. It's still hard to tell. I mean, there's humming around you, but it looks like one of them is writhing, and there's kind of strange wind that looks like it's cut up the ground pretty badly. Where he left from, it looks like it tore ass into the ground.
Okay.
Your kind of clothes are flailing around you.
Yeah.
Each of you, you two would take 3 points of general burning from this effect. Do you have any minor spirit wards, actually?
bet you wish yours
Yes.
missing a hand now.
Do you have a minor spirit ward?
I can't remember. Did they give us any spirit words?
The professor
It's
made
whatever,
one a
it's
long
whatever
time
the professor
ago.
has one for us.
The professor made you one very long time ago. You
Yep,
might
I
not have
got
it
premium
on
small
I
spirit word.
do.
All right, if that's on your person, then you don't take those 3 points of damage.
Okay.
I mean,
Yep.
it's not
Keeps
really
minor
gonna-
spirits at bay.
And apparently this wind.
That's
But the
awesome.
wind isn't directed at you. If it was,
Yeah.
you most likely would get ripped
It-
up pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm assuming if I want to dial up my gun, that takes my turn basically.
I would allow fast draw.
A lot faster.
Spin the thing to 25.
Boom!
And then I'm teleporting away from it.
Good luck with that. I'm faster than lightning.
I am.
That's really fast. Good luck with that.
The ladies must love you.
You haven't seen it. Is it what? Fast draw ammo?
I would allow default of fast draw ammo at a -3.
You don't have fast draw anything?
No, I've got fast draw ammo. It was my better of the two, so I decided to go with that. But then he made it worse. So fast draw pistol, would that be worse of a minus then, or
That's a -3.
-3?
What do you have an observation?
But if I fail, then I lose
Observation
my
on the right side,
turn.
that is 15.
You get to turn the die. You get
Right,
like,
but I
But
don't
that's
get to
17
shoot
across the
that.
board.
that is correct.
And honestly,
My
we shouldn't be
perception's 16.
concerned with these two. We should be concerned with the horde
I
behind the
need to
wall.
update this.
I mean,
Yeah.
the two are
I just
concerning,
wanted to
but
make sure.
No,
I think yours might be out of
disagree.
date
I'll say
because you had to
consider
redo
yourself
your
the two that you're
character
facing right
sheet.
now.
Yeah, I sent it to you in the email.
I need to.
You got
Yeah.
to stop them from.
I haven't made any rolls on it as yet.
Yeah.
So one of them looks to be wounded, and the other one.
One of them's writhing. You can't tell if it's injured. It's
Okay.
obviously still flying.
well, he
Okay.
heard the yit say.
But there's
right?
but there's one of them that's tearing
You
up the
still have
ground
one more
with the
turn
wind
after this.
it seems like both of them are still
Right.
firing on
What?
it.
To get your sight
on
back.
him.
Well,
I don't
initially in
know.
his area. They're
All
turning.
right, I shoot the one that looks
I've
like
had
it's
one turn
writhing.
pass since
I close
fired.
my eyes, pull the trigger.
Okay.
So I kind of aim it up, close my eyes, boom.
Because we got 3 turns, right? You and me both.
Let's see.
Three and 2.
And that's a
I've
perception,
had
so 15.
2 total turns.
So we got
Next one
9,
will be
so
my
that'd
third.
be a success by 6.
But no, for your deaf and blind.
I don't know. He said
what did you have
2
it set to?
seconds.
It's still at the 1. I
You
didn't.
can roll 60.
6.
66.
Yeah. I should.
So I'm guessing the 2 seconds was after the turn where I fired the gun.
Sweet.
Right.
You already got to add
The
it
2
up,
seconds
Steve.
of
19.
blind and death was after.
We got
So
10
I'll be
there.
blind and death next turn.
19.
Even though it'll be my 3rd total turn.
From what has happened thus far, don't worry. You're going to be deafened for the combat. It's whether or not you're blind. Because this point in time, you guys can't. You feel pressure, and it feels like your ears are slightly bleeding. You're several blocks away, and it's still deafening. It's just kabow, kabow, kabow.
And it's echoing of it.
Yeah, into the chamber.
19.
But I imagine if you're right next to that shit.
19.
19.
You still glad you fired right away?
Winged one, maybe they would have just came out
You
with
fire
the
on
wing.
it. You can't tell the. I mean, it was so
Right.
bright.
I closed my eyes.
You close your eyes, but what I'm saying is, when you close your eyes, you can't tell what happened, and it's so
Yeah.
bright you couldn't really tell anyway. So.
Right. And I will kind of turn my head a little bit, just so it's not like full on, like, even through my eyelids. It's like, hey, look, I still got after images.
Yep, yeah, like I said, you had after images this turn where it was
Right.
difficult to
I'm
see.
trying to protect my eyesight so I can get it
Then
back.
we're at Rice.
I got one more turn before I can see.
Goggles on.
This is second turn
Well, there's
since we
goggles.
got blinded, or third.
This would be second, I think.
Yep. So after this, I'll have one more turn.
Why did we think of that?
Because it's three
Bullshit happens.
Three turns are blindness, right?
Because we had a box
Yes.
that said
Okay,
done.
I got
We
one
were
more
like,
turn.
High fives.
I'll try to hunker down. I can hear, I guess, this turn.
This is why Mark's
cannot hear this
characters don't come with us.
As I said before,
It's
because
where
there's a
the box with the
cumulative
dot arrows
effect
going
that has
in
kept
and out.
hitting you, so you're...
Because I believe you were the one who said,
Okay.
don't worry, they consider us ants. We have nothing to worry about here but fear itself.
It did seem that after that first lightning,
We
that
stealthed
lightning
through.
blast went off, like they totally changed how they were.
Right.
They were definitely hunting down something down here, but when that lightning blast hit, they started filing up into actual formations. And given that this might have been a weapon that was used exclusively against them during a war that happened,
I hated it.
is that a mortar shell? Holy shit! They're firing real weapons.
How'd the monkeys get the weapons?
I'll wait.
Monkey with a gun.
Wait till I can get my sight back.
Okay. Then we're at Steve.
Hanging on to my things unless he says I can go.
In a little bit, I would say that you can effectively go at this point.
Okay. I run behind a crate.
It seems as though that kind of black mass is continually getting larger. It seems like air is getting sucked into it and it's not coming back from
Looking
anywhere.
at my goggles at their lightning blasts
Okay.
to see if it's still blinding me.
It is protecting you significantly away from the blast. There's a strong elemental lightning resonance to
Okay.
whatever the hell's happening over there. It seems like it is having some effect on one of them. He looks a little bit injured. You're only basing that based on his primal image. If it looks a little bit more tore up, you assume he's damaged, but some entities it doesn't work like that.
And I'll take my wax and start shoving it in my ears.
Okay.
Why do you think you get to hear?
Either I use my ninja.
You should be joining the fight.
Yeah, I'm heading over there too.
You got a beam gun. It shoots like forever. Just like, right
You
from
can
where
give me
are.
defense. It's going to be at a -8.
They're vulnerable to lightning though.
-8.
-8. You feel a pressure coming towards you, and that's it. You don't know anything else.
Okay. I'm going to transpose myself, so if I'm facing this direction, I just transpose myself up over on this
That works
corner.
really well. Just saying.
You're not exactly where the transpose sigil was set up.
No, I understand that. I'm doing it like in the old days.
Okay.
Just doing shit. Let's see here.
You know the area fairly well, given you're teleporting a small distance, but you're at a -6 because you don't have a... I'd say no, because... where are you teleporting to?
Just line of sight straight in front of me.
You're at a -6.
-6? Okay. I'll burn...
And that's, mind you, in addition to the -8 for the defense.
Oh, I still have the -8 on that?
However, magic is straight up. You don't have to half it and then... So your magic might be a 17 while your dodge might be a 12.
What are you saying, half?
So a defense is normally half the skill, like
Yeah.
+3.
Yeah.
If your transpose is 17, you
Yeah.
work off that number to defend.
Right.
So you have a -8 off of your 17 rather than a parry for
Right.
like a weapon would
But
be...
I don't have a -8 off my transpose. I got a -14 off my transpose.
Without the sigil, yeah.
Right. Although there's a sigil, it's back.
Come on, Nancy.
Based on what you told me, you
Yeah.
don't have one going out or coming in.
Well,
You can burn will and quintessence.
You can do it if you ain't Nancy. That's what I hear all the time.
exactly. I'm just deciding how much resources I want to use.
If anything, it looked like it tore up the ground pretty damn
Yeah.
good. You don't know if armor is going to do anything against this. It passed
It
through
won't.
force fields.
I'll do willpower and 3 quintessence.
All right, so that'll give you a +8 right there.
Oops, wrong
We're still
one.
fighting two, right?
From what you're aware of, yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of them, the
And
professor was
then
able to get up the field, but
succeed
2 of
by
them
1.
got through before it went up.
I succeed by 1.
Okay. You move to the new location. You can give me a body sense.
I'm going to have all kinds of successes I should. Body sense, body sense, body sense. Get success by 3.
Okay, you're at a new location.
Yep.
Browning was also hit.
My ray gun has 3 dice. My ray gun has 3 dice.
But it has the penetration thing. So it's like exponential.
We know these things are vulnerable to electricity.
Yeah. I honestly don't think the ray gun's going to affect them as strong.
You saw Browning was fighting one. There's another electrical blast. That's all you can tell. So we're back up to
dead.
Barton.
So I should be able to see now.
Yes, it's coming. There's a haziness to it, but you can see.
Yeah. The next round is when you get clear vision.
So
Well, it's probably going to be several rounds. It's just now you can determine blob, not blob.
Yeah.
There's a light over here. You
How
can tell
long would
rough
it-
shapes.
I have the rug, like right there in the pistol holster. And I'm going to put it out, and I'm going to eject the cartridge and put it down. What rolls do you want for that?
I would say it'd take 2 ready action to complete something like that. You can give me a fast draw or to reduce it to 1. And then next turn you can fast draw the magazine, put it down there, or attempt to teleport.
What's a ready action?
How many turns, essentially? So I'd say that would take 2 turns. If you can give me a fast draw. What fast draws do you have? Or do you just have...
Anything.
Okay.
An
Then just
18.
fast draw for that.
That's universal now.
Ooh, so I have a 4, which is now a 3. So I passed by 15.
15. I will give you that then. You can put it down this turn.
So the cartridge is on the rug?
No, the rug is down. It's laid out completely, and at that point you still have an action.
Chink! Onto the thing.
So you're attempting to shoot it and...
No,
No, he's just ejecting.
eject!
Yeah, he's not using words, he's using sounds to
Okay,
convey
you give me a
words.
fast... Problem with the hands things, too. I do this with the fold space.
No, you didn't hear the sound effect. He
Folding
went,
pizza dough?
ka-chunk.
I don't know what-
Yeah, that's clearly a magazine empty.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, what the hell have you?
Which one? Fast draw?
You can give me a fast draw to drop the magazine onto...
Not as snazzy. So 11 by 7.
Alright. That's enough. You can put it down there for your turn, but you've managed to whip it out and put the magazine
Then
down.
if I can send the thought through the yeth, I'll tell him magazine cartridge on rug, 30 strength.
Okay. You're a brave man. I detonated it at his feet.
He would just tell you that would probably encompass a few blocks, but he's far enough away.
Oh, there you go.
So thanks
so
for
from
the save,
there-
guys.
Is it back to me now again?
Yep.
Oh, that's right. I always do defensive things.
So you can transpose that behind
So
the
you
barrier.
moved farther away.
So he said it was only a few blocks, though.
Mind you, she's 4.5 blocks away. However, he said he was fine. Once again, take that as you will.
Right.
B might not be critical to
Well,
finishing
no,
this device.
because I do have transposed signals down in the hallway further
Yep,
away from us, and so I'm trying to think of how long that
You
hallway
had
is.
drawn several before. It's just where you guys had gotten ambushed.
Right.
You didn't have one immediately.
So do I know where the closest one in the hallway that I drew to where, I mean, so in the hallway, is it, 8 blocks down the hallway, 100 blocks down the hallway,
I would say closer to 17.
17?
No,
Yeah, it's a
it's mostly
distance.
full.
Walls.
About another one.
You have
Well,
another one probably about
Walls is good
half
for-
a mile down there. But that's near the corner.
You have a start, wing the frickin' end. You're hunter. That's what you do.
No.
The thing is, I can't do the apportion effect.
You guys have done fairly well against the teleporting away. I've been waiting to roll some massive damage rolls. You guys keep fucking teleporting. That's good, though. He lost a hand. I'm somewhat happy with that.
You can go home and sleep it tonight.
Check. Tried to kill PCs. Check. Failed.
The wall's still up, the barrier's up.
The force field, yeah, there's... the professor was able to reinforce the field. It's just 2 slipped through a size that they shouldn't have been able to. And from what you understand, that's probably not going to last too much longer, but combat rounds, you might be...
Right.
You probably could resolve this combat prior to
I'll
that
do
field
I'll do a
collapse.
fast draw and try to turn up my dial. So I turn it up to 4.
Okay,
I sight at the one that's wounded. I blast him.
okay.
I close my eyes, turn my head a little bit,
All right.
aim it up. Boom. So it's gonna be 6 again.
Okay.
Keep rolling that.
You can give me a strength check.
Yeah.
Can I burn a fatigue to kind
You can
of
burn
lean
a
into
fatigue.
it?
Normally, in virtually all circumstances, when I'm asking you to do some sort of strength regulating thing, you can burn fatigue.
And my lifting strength would count. I got a point of lifting.
I would say yeah,
strength.
sure.
Okay. So that gives me 2 extra on the fatigue.
Yep.
Okay.
Give you plus 2.
17 on the dice, but I will make my strength check on the nose. But it is the Cthulhu.
It is a
one.
failure.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you do fire the trigger. The fire of the gun? It seems to hit on target. You think it hits on target. You close
Yeah.
your eyes and change it over.
Yeah.
However, You end up taking 5 points of burning damage to your 2 hands and then your 2 arms.
Both hands.
And you kind of had it pointed upwards, and you were pulling it away from the holster, and the thing flipped in your hands, and then you assume it went underneath some sort of stasis cube somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Otherwise, you can roll 24D.
Just a second here.
Gives me some time to get your Ds if you want to use that.
Yep, go ahead and get them. So let's see. So I went into...
There's 10
I
Ds.
passed my collapse roll, so I need to make a subdual roll at collapse at 0.
Yep.
So I need to make a subdual check. I'm going to succeed by 10 on the subdual check.
Yep, you're good.
And
You need to
then,
make another check for... well, actually, it's 4 smaller hits, so I won't count as a major one.
okay.
There's 24 if you want to use
Right here?
all of those, yeah.
All these. A lot of ones, Steve. I didn't let him bounce enough, apparently. Could be helping.
I was actually counting them until you started grabbing them, and then I was done. I had to check.
Then your helping stopped?
Yep.
While this is happening, what did you want to do?
Well, I'm starting to
1, 2,
see blobs.
3, 4,
Yep, you can
5,
see
6,
rough
7.
blobs. Luckily, these things are pretty large.
78.
I gotta wait till I see vision before I can.
What level is that?
4.
It's hard to tell. You'll have to wait next turn to see what results it may have.
I gotta wait one more round to see if it
Results
clears
are-
up.
You can see blobs, and you can roughly target things.
But in order
but
to do a
Oops,
symbol-based
I'm right,
drawing,
stop.
I need to see.
You'll be at a penalty until you can see clearly.
Nah,
It's not as bad as before,
Yeah,
but
you're right,
still,
it's way
like
less
you
than
could
that.
miss one of the symbols.
yeah. I want to make sure I get
At least
the
using fairy fire.
Could I?
Gesture-based spells, you pretty sure you can do those fine. So a lot of the cat spells don't require you to see shit.
Could I do a primal defensive stance? That's
Sure.
where I draw it in, right?
A primal defensive stance makes you more aware of the primal energies around you, and to be better to evade them.
Is it 78 average?
You rolled 24
Powerful
dice.
stance where I draw it into
Multiply
myself, right?
24 by
Powerful
3.5.
stance.
It says the primal is just
So
going to be
there
fully
you go.
controlled and will ground into patterns depending on
60,
the
72.
amount drawn in causing real
And
effect.
12 would be 84.
That
that
would
far under.
make yourself look more powerful than normal. I
I
suppose
like
what
how
are you
we're
intending to
shooting at
do
them
with
and
it?
he's like,
Normally, something like that would be used for intimidation or making yourself just with drawing fire, or just outright scaring a creature away. In this
That
instance,
always
you
works.
could actively direct. If they could see your primal form, they might deem you as a more
Threat.
priority threat than anything else.
I'll
For all intents and purposes, you're charging up your laser, and they don't know what the hell's going on.
yeah.
However, it's supposed to give you an idea. It's kind of like a minor version is like Gandalf, kind of making the building turn all black and telling people that he's got some conjure of cheap tricks.
I will hold until I can get a full.
B, there's still more lightning blasts. I mean, it's a little bit funny because everyone's a little bit blinded, disoriented. It seems like Browning literally had a leg blown off, and he continues to kind of fire his gun pretty admirably, and then you kind of see a gun go off here, and then pew, and then what is it? Hunter kind of ducks his head down. It's hard to track where people are right now. The professor is probably trying to open up an apportation, but then was it portion the creature and then kind of move away. It's blinded. Was a bit stunned by the first shot.
Exactly.
I'll set my gun on 3, my camera.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, 3 is fine. And I take my lipstick and shove half a tube in each ear. I'm happy.
your ears are bleeding. Oh, wait.
It'll help. It may not cure anything, but
So you can give me defense at a -8. It looks like the creature that you kind of look off into that blurry area does kind of swirl up towards the wall a little bit and looks like it's disoriented. It's still covered by a wind. The wind's strong enough where Browning is, where he's literally just dragging across the ground, firing his stupid gun. But it looks like
It's all we have.
Well, what I'm saying is, I mean, he's being dragged around. Looks like one of his legs has been completely disintegrated off, and so he's still sitting there like, ah!
Of course he is.
So
We'll say that until he's a little nubbin.
yeah, that's most likely what's going to happen. Is he's going to get smeared to the ground.
No,
But it's admirable.
It is admirable.
However, you do feel a presence kind of come off towards you as well.
Yeah. So,
What the
Alright.
fuck is Sykes? Isn't he supposed to be helping with things like this?
You're not sure.
No, he just doesn't care about
He's just
Browning.
there to
He
pick-
only cares about.
he's just
him
there to
and
pick up the
professor.
body parts. So I'm going to do a primal conduit so I can take out my...
If anything, I might say that the only time you've seen Zykes actively do something is after Browning has told him to do it.
Okay.
And Browning's out there kind of throwing some birds out there, and his fingers are kind of burning. Which is probably impressive because you saw him pick up hot cookie pans before.
So I succeeded by 8 on my primal conduit, so I can suck it out of my power stone. I'm assuming that's what I have to do to get the quintessence out of the power stone if you want to burn that, right? You can't just burn it like you can with the stuff.
A power stone? Are you talking about the half coin?
Yeah.
Right.
You
Isn't
can
that-
burn. You can address one power stone directly.
Oh, you can? You don't have to do the
That's
power
one of the
conduit
benefits of a power stone.
there? Oh, okay.
You know you have those 2 quintessence. Or no, I gave you 3.
Otherwise, this is
So that
the
makes
shot's a
6.
little bit more on, but then you end up having cover, so it's a -7.
-7. So
If you had the ability to fully see and
Right.
hear, it would be a lot easier.
Right. Well, I can't see, though, right?
Blurry, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we're already up to 3 skill points
So the coin... So I burned 3 quin.
if we survive.
Let's see. I'll do a willpower again. So I get a -5 in my transpose. That's going to be 9, 13, 12.
Now, where are you trying to transpose to?
So I
if
missed
you're
by
using-
1. Basically, I would just go to the... I'm just going to... So if he's shooting at me here, let's say he's up here, he's shooting at me, then I just bounce myself up over here. Unless it looks like all the wild gunfire is going in that direction, I'll just bounce myself over
So you don't
here.
have a starting or a minus, so there's a
It's the
-6
-6.
in addition.
Right.
So you'd be at a -13.
Right. Yeah, so I missed by 1.
Why did you not just use a fold space where you don't have all these minuses? Mr. Absolute Direction guy.
You do what you got to do. I'm doing what I got to do. At least I didn't blend the party out in the front.
Depending on how it works,
Get your digs in
You have-
while you're going, guys. We're
it
still
did
alive.
seem like,
That's okay.
depending on how
B's gonna hold off for a round or two still.
depending on how it works from your perspective, it seems like this wind passes through those effects, so that might be a viable means of escape. But under normal circumstances, if you use a fold space to escape bullet fire, the bullet fire
Right.
travels through the fold space effect, and you get
You never get
shot
away.
100 meters away from where you were.
Right. But it's cooler when the body falls over.
Yeah, they're like, holy shit, he's escaped! You're like, no, he's dead over there in the cornfield. You're like, damn, he got away. We should keep looking for him. All right.
What size category are they? 3?
There are, I would say there are
Ginormous.
3 or 4. Yeah. Like I said, they're a little bit more compact, but they are the rough, bulbous size of those snake dragons, the hunting horrors. You'll end up taking 33 to the chest and 22 to the shoulder.
So does the armor thing help at all?
What armor is it?
The Snake Man armor?
Unfortunately, it does
Probably
not.
not. Okay. So tell me again what it was. So I got a shoulder.
You can reduce each of those damages by 5, actually, and write down that the minor spirit ward you have on you is broken.
Okay. Cross that through. Then you said what shoulder, right or left?
So I would say left shoulder.
Left shoulder. All right, and you said 23 there.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
But
you're
then
mo-
it's going to stop at my health, right? So I got a
Hit
maximum
points.
of 15
Yeah, your
hit
hit
point.
points,
And my
yeah.
hit points is 15.
your shoulder. It would stop at your arm.
And that's 15, right? Or is
Yeah.
that more? Or
No, it'd be
less?
15 and would be
So it'd be 15.
crippled.
All
Not
right.
crippled, but
Destroyed.
it'd be destroyed. But it's
Yeah.
not twice as much damage, so it's not completely missing.
Right, it didn't get ripped off.
Yeah.
And then my chest was 33.
Yeah.
We get to subtract 5.
Oh, that's right. I didn't.
And I'll say it's an area effect, so I won't
So
count
27.
heart or anything else like that.
Okay. Let's see here. So now I got to add up that. So that's 30, 43.
Just edit my picture here.
So minus 43.
Otherwise, the effect is very painful. It's like some sort of grippingly cold wind that doesn't actually produce any kind of cold. It just kind of penetrates deeply into your person. And the areas affected just get burnt away.
Okay.
And as I said, it's not really cold or heat, but it feels cold,
Yep.
and it just disappears.
All right.
How many checks?
3. So here's the first death check. So I made that by a bunch. You want to know the number?
Nope. And if you fail by 1 or 2, that just means you go into critical condition. You're not dead.
Right.
However, if you critically fail...
So I make that one by bunches. Make that by bunches. So I made all 3.
And then HT rolls at
Subduals.
0, -1, and -2.
0.
0. I made that one by bunches. -1. So I made that one by bunches, no critical. And then -2. So I did that one by a lot as well. Okay?
All right, and that's it.
Okay.
It seems as though they're killing Browning, from what you can tell.
Right. So what about my gun? Since I was on my chest, is it just like a bunch of like springs going like boing?
Surprisingly, no. There's absolutely no damage to the gun.
Okay.
Your suit is still completely intact.
Okay.
You went right through it.
Okay.
You don't know why it affected the ground.
Okay. And then I guess my other question is, which side is the trigger button on?
It would be right side.
Right
As
side.
I
Okay.
always indicated it with my right hand.
Okay. I'm just curious because my left arm no longer works, so it suddenly becomes relevant.
Haha! Your whole arm? Only my hand's gone.
That's all right. I don't care.
Actually, your stuff is still there.
Yep,
It's
it's
just-
just
Yeah.
you need surgery to
non-functional.
repair it.
Right, it's
Or
not
mystical energies.
Or Sleep of Ages.
What is it?
It's not the
Takes
first
2
time
days.
I've had an arm.
So
all
we're
made.
back up to Barton. Oh, excuse me, that was, yep, we're back up to Barton.
So, since my frickin' thing hasn't teleported yet, what are the penalties for no end sigil?
For transpose,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have a start, then it's a -3. If you don't have an end, it's -3. So 6.
So you've got to start.
Yeah, that puts me down to an 8.
Ooh.
That's what quintessence and willpower is for.
Yeah, that's pretty much gone.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you're having a bad time.
Because someone won't teleport the fucking nuke.
That's you.
Okay. That's all right. If I had lipstick, I'd be putting it in my ears. So.
and then you just hear us yelling at you through your thoughts. In your voice.
Sure. I did what I'm doing. You need to do what you need to do.
So I'll look around me, and where's Browning at?
Horrifyingly enough, it looks as though he's going all die hard. It seems like he's been pretty badly ripped up. However, he is still fighting until they are just rubbing him away until nubbed. There's some clothing left over there, but
What's left of him right now?
it looks like they tore up a pretty good section of his hip, of his leg, and there's definitive burns across
still
his
has
jaw
torso.
and chest. Yeah, he's torso and arm.
He looks
Okay.
like Arnold in T3 or whatever.
Yeah, like an Arnold in T3.
So
it's surprising that he's alive.
So just
But I suppose you've seen Hunter in
before I
shitty
saved
situations
him,
like
for
that.
clarification, he lost his junk, right?
You're pretty sure he did.
Okay. Just
Now he
for
can die
future
happy, I
arguments.
guess.
I'm folding space behind him, so because he's moving, right?
Well, it doesn't look like his own volition. It looks as though he's caught in some sort of wind
Yeah,
tunnel.
but
So he's like sliding across the ground like, yeah, fuck you!
So I'm putting fold space behind him
To take him out of there.
to behind me, and
Some of it might ruffle around the back. You might burn off a layer of skin, but...
I think he'll appreciate that. So I have a 10, fold space by 4.
He's only doing that so you can punch him in the face. Now you're close to me, bastard.
And by 4 for the
I
fold
hate you,
space.
demon bastards.
Funny.
I'm putting him behind me, but not next to me.
Okay.
Just he has a big bullseye on him. And if that works, and I see him appear, I will say something to the Yeth.
He's moving towards the field right now. So...
Well, through the Yeth, I'll say, "Get Zykes to help you, you idiot."
To Brown.
To Browning.
He's like, yeah! Zykes! Help out!
It's like picks him up like this and starts holding him, pointing him out there. He's got one hand left. He's like, That's back to me.
Yep.
Bullet, I go at the end of the turn usually.
Oh, did I skip you?
I haven't gone for a while.
You
but
stuck
I thought you
lipstick
put
in your
2
ears,
spoons of lipstick
and
in
then
it.
it was my turn.
Oh, okay.
And then we did
He had a,
damage.
like,
then
he
I-
was between
then
us,
I
and I have no
attacked
idea
these
why.
guys.
Because
and
I
so
got
went to
pulled
part.
out.
Sorry.
Okay.
I was getting blowed up.
Okay.
All right.
Excuse me. There was a lot of time of them deciding their fate.
Yeah.
Luckily, you can make most of those teleports. Normally, you'd be at a shock penalty, but otherwise, you're fine because you have high pain threshold.
That's right. Still doesn't hurt yet.
Fuck, I'm not supposed to be the one who saves Browning. I'm supposed to be the one who kills him.
Details.
That's pretty fast.
So can I do? I know that if I use a transpose, I can use the apportation on whatever's in space.
You ever go to the Blaze?
But can I use a?
Not really.
It's another conservative
The
site.
apportion.
Townhall.com. That's
While
an
it's
awesome
transiting?
Yeah,
Right.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. Or can I use it once it's at the final
It's like
destination?
financial
You think so?
articles,
Yeah.
zerohedge.com.
So
Yeah, you
I'll
told me
mean,
that
you-
one.
To accomplish it in the same turn, you might need to do a dedicated action. Meaning you wouldn't be able to
Commando.
defend yourself.
Maybe
Yeah.
anything for us? Just bodies. Rock. Where did he go?
Blow up some Steve Scully.
You ever go? It's the chive. Chive has a little bit of everything. Mostly of Scantly.
Dude, what are the two guys in front of us? Do they look hurt at all, or?
Browning looks pretty aft.
I mean, not
Um,
our team. I understand our team's taking in the shorts, but I'm
And
talking
looking
about
at
the,
lots of
Browning has gotten
the
several.
amoebas.
Each of them have probably taken the equivalent of about 5 or 6 shots.
Okay.
Um,
And how
they
fast
do
are
not-
these? How fast are these things happening?
it's been probably about 6,
I mean,
7 seconds.
when do they react? Are they going on 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
I've been, for convenience, I think they're about 6.5, but for convenience, I've been doing them at the end.
Okay. I will tell these two, you can't sit on the sideline because I'm going to be putting my nuts in the block. So if I have to dedicate it, that's what I'll do. I'll transpose the thing to the other side and then apportion it.
Yep.
So there's a transpose, which is going to go through a success by 11. So I move it over, and then I try to apportion it. So that's that there.
So it was on a sigil, but
So it'd
you
be
were
a
putting
minus.
it. Where were you putting the transpose to?
So basically I put it one block on the other side of the barrier.
Okay.
So I don't know how far it is ultimately
Okay.
from there, but it's not going to have. So it's going to be a -3 on the other side, but so it'd be success by 8.
Okay.
So anybody die?
Nope, but you just shook it up.
Please don't open that near me. Exactly.
Over the computers.
So, oh, is it? The transpose effect worked, and then what are you making on apportation?
I'm going to make that by.
You told us not to sit on the sidelines.
Let's see. That's going to go through this. That's going to go through the same thing with. I rolled my dice, so I made it by 9.
By 9?
Yeah.
I would give you, from what you've seen before, the force field, whatever the hell it is, does
Yeah.
stop it. If anything, the apportation might need to go through the wall.
Okay.
As crazy as that
Yep.
sounds,
Yep.
The wall
Okay.
can heal itself.
there's a penalty for that. You can give me a perception roll, I would say.
Did you teleport it?
Yep.
We still got 2 bombs floating around,
So
right?
11.
Yes.
So
They
by
look
4.
pretty messed up, but
By 4.
Yeah, they could still mess with us.
there's an intensely bright light. The force field kind of turns solid white, and then from there, it looks like it turns off, and then there's kind of an after image of everything around the area.
Okay.
There's an audible. You guys all felt kind of a pressure wave, and it felt like the structure shook slightly.
Okay.
What else from there? There's still creatures on the other side, from what you can tell. Not
Yeah.
shit's happened over there, and you're not sure what happened.
Right.
The force field went down.
Yeah.
There's kind of like a black area over
The
there.
ones that were like 6 blocks away are like, "Ooh, thank God we weren't there." I think I see this amoeba shadow on the wall.
However, the ones interior were protected by the force field.
Yep. Yeah. No, I understand. I wasn't getting them.
I can see better now.
Yeah, you can see pretty well.
Alright. I will try to disintegrate one that I can see. A little bit closer. What are my minuses I'm looking at?
I would say a -2 on the symbol drawing.
Okay. So Foxfire it.
Yep.
By 11.
Okay.
Then you want a symbol drawing? Or you just want straight Mew?
-2 symbol drawing. The only reason you're doing symbol drawing is because you're
Yeah.
rapidly trying to use Foxfire
Yep.
to assemble the rune. If you were doing it by hand, it would only be a mule.
-2.
roll. -2 for the symbol drawing, yes.
Yep. 9, 7.
You got your new?
Okay, so you can give me a mule roll at a
I thought you
+3.
just teleported it.
Then I apportioned it. That's why the first field
Is that boosted also by Scarlet, right?
It's already gone off. It's done.
Yeah.
It's gone off. Done.
There's kind of a blackened ashen area over there. They kind of look black, so it's hard to tell like what's over there, but it's quiet.
Yeah.
It's just the force field's now down, and you hear.
Right.
You don't hear anything.
Right.
Is that the +3 with Scarlet?
Yeah.
you
Hopefully
said?
they like.
There's a +3 from
Let's
Scott.
give that
There's a
a second
+3
or
for
two
your
to-
symbol drawing as well.
By
Maybe not
8.
run through the
By
door
8.
right away.
And you're trying to base it on, like, hit one of them with it?
Yep.
And they just like idiots. I
Matter?
told them to keep
You
the
can
door
roll 16D.
Use that.
Somebody just want to roll 16D. I don't.
12,
Just roll
15, 16.
Just roll it. I don't care who rolls.
Damn, they didn't want you.
Hey, there's a bunch of 6s.
Actually, that's decent.
I just saw the
36,
ones.
Not many.
40.
Not like the last time they rolled.
50, 63.
The closest one to you would be the one near Browning. Ultimately, it seems to break apart pretty rapidly, and then it kind of seems to head up, but then it partially evaporates. You don't know if that's some sort of...
You popped a balloon.
You don't know if it disintegrated or turned invisible or what the hell happened.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Invisible blobs.
Right. Otherwise, Browning does slowly kind of move through your effect. Shortly after, there's kind of a red streak, and the other one seems to disappear. Zyke seems to be standing in the rough area below it. And then...
Freaking idiot.
He's after.
I'm sorry, I'm playing Browning how he would...
This
play
is
Browning.
how he'd play Browning. That's the sad part.
Poison darts!
Oh, that's wrong.
Thank God Browning doesn't have that.
Otherwise, you guys can slowly collect yourself. I mean, there is a visible... probably about 400 or 500 meters off. I wouldn't say 400 or 500 meters off. Probably about a half a mile. So about 500 to 700 meters. There is kind of a culmination of these creatures kind of swirling about, and they're slowly starting to move forward once again. You can see that this creature is now...
He's got one more gun.
Kind of pulling together. Can see that he's slowly reaching into kind of a black void.
All right.
The void is probably about 6 feet in diameter, but relative to him, he's kind of reaching into an oven. But for you, it could have easily, if somebody tripped near it, it would pull you in, and then God knows where you'd go. However, he starts to pull out what appears to be a fairly large, relative to you, cylinder. The first thing you do notice is it does seem to be made out of some sort of weird stasis material, but there are new runes written all across it.
Okay.
And ultimately, he kind of pulls it off, and there's whatever the hell this is. You're not sure if it's a particle or something, but whatever the hell is in the void is sticking to it and is rapidly eating through the that membrane that he had around himself. And that kind of covered his head as well.
Okay.
But it seems as though the tentacles that are kind of had pulled it out have already started to rapidly decay. And ultimately, this hits the ground, and then what the hell is it? You see him use a claw arm and break one of the gravity modules, and the field seems to collapse, and then it just evaporates pretty rapidly. However, even at 17 feet, this seems to kind of, whatever the hell this black cleaniness is, that's still kind of evaporating off of the cylinder. It seems to be now eating into the creature. Like,
Yeah, or
but
whatever he is.
he isn't registering it at all, but it's obviously happening. I mean, that suit is providing some sort of protection, but mild at best. If anything, it gave him time to reach in.
I asked him, what do we do with this thing? How do we open it?
He says that, you'll have to open it the same way that you'd open a stasis cube. The process is very similar. What the hell? He says that you'll probably want to give it at least 30 seconds for the void to evaporate around it. And you can kind of see now internal organs are starting to kind of fall out from this creature.
Will he help us willingly?
Are you going to survive?
He says, relative... How would he put it? He says this is just a host, so he's going to be moving forward to the rest of his people. This host doesn't matter. It's dying.
Did we fulfill?
We are not out of here yet.
Yeah.
He says this is one possible outcome.
Okay.
He says there's a high likelihood that as soon as you can get him out would be the best. However, he'll leave you at it as he kind of collapses
You're
down to the
melting anyway.
ground.
Can you open it for us?
He said...
I don't think we need.
He says
to
that
open-
given the warding on the outside, He has difficulty touching it in even his normal form. Unfortunately, right now, he says, as his kind of left arm is rapidly deteriorating and his rib cage is collapsing in on itself, that you're going to have to do the best you can.
Will it will it in any way hinder a teleport?
He believes that the object won't be able to be teleported, so you'll have to open it.
We have to wait till it dissolves.
I will say thank you.
He says no thanks is required. This is it. He wouldn't allow.
So they're coming in on us.
Otherwise, his head just kind of hits the ground
No, I
and
want to
slowly.
ask you on the plane of Lang. Give us hints on the plane of Lang, quick.
You're not dead yet. I know there's somebody in there. I know somebody's in there.
He just pulls out the gremlin hammer.
He tells you that Carcosa is a spatial trap, but
We know
at this point in time, there's a flash, and then
It's not like he could give us a hint. You know, make sure you have the reverse gravity spiral so you can get out of the spatial trap. No, it's a spatial trap. Well, yeah, you're the 13th person to tell us that. Super genius, eh? I think not. All right.
So you've got Browning near you, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah,
pretty
his
bad.
gun's almost empty. Can I make my way over to the transpose signal that he's got there?
yeah, you can.
Okay. So I get to the rug, basically I'll eject my gun magazine onto the rug, and I can look down a hallway. How far?
You can pretty much see all the way down. It's actually pretty darkly
You said it's about a
illuminated
half
now.
mile, right?
It was a half a mile. It's pretty darkly illuminated. Whatever power was running lights.
I transpose this to the other sigil that I'm aware of, which is further down. You
should
said
be
that-
roughly back where those
19,
creatures are. Yeah.
and then I apportion it back that far.
Okay. The transpose shouldn't be too difficult, other than, do you have a sigil right here?
Yep, he's got his rug out, so I've got the 2 endpoints.
Okay, can you make
So,
me a transpose then?
While he's doing that, can I give you a searching or a scrounging for my hand?
You can give me a
Do you,
scrunch.
Are they still coming
are you
after
really
us,
looking
though?
for your hand?
I'm
Yeah,
really- For my hand.
they're regathering their forces. They're like, the nuke went off, the guys at the front got vaporized, but we should probably get back in there.
Scrounging by 8.
I would say, given a few more turns, you can ultimately come across your hand.
See.
It looked like it got like a
Don't
chicken
need it.
that got hidden for. What is it? A chicken that was fired at an airplane window, but it's
The
recoverable.
tattoos on the fingers still there.
You'd have to really take a look at it.
It's not going to
It's
matter.
a rough
Get a new
formation.
hand, get new tattoos. Give it
Angus is gone.
Success by
I'm
6.
waiting for all the stuff to smear off.
30
the
seconds
capsule.
in time has passed. You can.
I'm gathering up the components that are here, so I can.
How much
maybe
more time do you need, B?
23 seconds.
Actually, I can't talk. I can't hear anybody.
You guys now are no longer able to communicate to each other.
Right.
Yep.
So basically, I teleported down there,
I have gestures.
and then I'll do my apportion on it.
Exactly.
Now,
So, by the time this starts happening, I should say, well, you might have had some time to collect pieces. I mean, there's still things
My
there.
ring is the most important thing.
It looks like virtually everything was destroyed when it came to contact with the void, other than a few pieces. You don't know how your ring has survived, though. It hit the ground shortly after the aperture closed. Everything else is totally F.
I put my ring on.
You can give me a perception hypertech.
I like that too.
So we're all back near the capsule, right?
Yep. Well, I'm assuming you spent a little bit, like a few seconds, kind of culminating. You can be there if you want.
so I was looking down here. You said things are recongregating right down the hallway, right?
Yeah, probably about 500 meters down.
Yeah.
There's about it's a half a mile.
Yeah.
6. You remember that your husband had told you that there was some sort of apotheo particle that was used in creation of this, and apparently it's some sort of chaos void particle. So the ring might be completely immune to this process. It might have been one of the reasons that the creature asked for it first.
Okay.
I'm back there with
Portion.
B and try to see
It's difficult because that level of science is still
new.
it's still new stuff.
I got success by 2, but I don't have to aim through the. I don't have to breach any barriers, correct?
From what you understand, no, there's no force field.
Okay, so
So far, nothing is gone. You can't confirm whether or not you hit it or not.
okay, I try to build it up and
Okay.
blast it again.
So you don't want to portion the whole... That's what happened, probably. Yep, you apportion the whole thing, no explosion.
Yeah, it's only by 2 again. Let me know if I can try again.
So far, it hasn't gone off. What else are you doing?
I'm with B. And we'll
Like I said, 30 seconds have passed.
Oh, I'm trying to open this container.
Okay.
I want to try the detonate
Do you want me to
as soon
will
as
it
I
open?
can, but other monkey.
And I'll try to talk to it right
That
now.
one's going to succeed by 8.
Okay. All of you can give me HT rolls.
Here.
Do we get any bonuses for fit, very fit?
Health.
Hard to subdue, health,
I would give you hard to subdue.
high pain threshold?
That gives you hard to subdue a couple
Yep.
levels. Also fit, very fit.
Health by 1.
By 1.
I have my hand
you
in
get-
my hand. In my hand.
You would have grabbed your hand. It's just
So when I'm passed out,
15.
you'll find
15.
I thought I rolled pretty good.
Said HT, right?
By 8? Yep, HT. Hard
By
to-
11.
By 11. All of you guys making HT by at least 8 can give me a strength check.
I bet you my being thin didn't help me, huh?
The strength check skinny will apply.
Does lifting strength help at all, and can I burn a fatigue?
You can.
Straight up.
And does lifting help me?
I would say lifting strength does.
So I'll spend
Alright.
50. Oh my
So
god.
17,
So I'll,
9, 12, so by 5.
Can you Cthulhu that?
I did, so I'm gonna pick it up. There I did it even out. There I did it by 3.
Okay. 5 straight up 3. You'll be the first to kind of. Ultimately, there's a bright flash of light.
Yeah.
However, this time there's no force field between you and it, and then the last thing you remember is there was a pressure wave.
Yeah.
And do you have absolute timing?
Yep. I think I do. Let me double
I
check
got it.
that. I do. Absolute timing.
It's probably been 20 seconds or so. I mean, you got knocked back a good 15 meters. Some of the other people just blew off into the darkness.
Huh.
You're kind of picking yourself up. It was fairly bright initially, but you can slowly collect. There's nothing in here as of yet.
Yeah.
But
I'm hoping that rocked him back a little bit further. I try to make my way over.
well, you were 500 meters away and it rocked you back. But
I know, but they were closer.
Wherever I am, I try to get back to where I need to be.
all right, takes you about a minute.
Okay?
If I can see people along the way, I'll try to.
You can find him as well.
I'll
You
get
can
back with
probably
me.
find these two
All right,
people.
do we find Browning?
You would.
I
Yep.
call him Bob now.
He is a stump of a man right now. His spirits are high, though.
All right. Well, I drag him along.
By the hair.
I'll grab him like by his shirt collar or something, and tell him to look at us. Keep watch on our 6.
Okay.
Try to
All right,
will
Gonna
open
put
the
him in a
stasis pod.
backpack and.
I'm going to will roll.
I only got one arm here though, so I can't put him in the backpack.
Ooh, good. 10, 15.
We got this thing open yet?
Not
Just
yet.
trying
They were trying, and then, well, B was looking down at the thing. She saw a bright light, and then, oh.
I went flying.
Come on, people.
By 5.
Okay. Okay. So where we are from before?
By 5.
5. So far, nothing. But you're pretty sure that these are Muse sigils on the cylinder.
Does any of them look familiar that I would?
There's a shroud. There's a shroud on here.
I start drawing a transpose.
But it's stacked
zone.
with probably 4 other objects.
Alright, I'll try again with one more will.
While they're doing that, can I draw a transpose signal?
You got a good will, right? Okay. I got my harmonic key. I'm getting ready to blow it open.
You'd be aware that the computer operation roll is probably vastly superior than a will roll regarding opening this.
Okay. I
From
reach in.
how he had described it prior, it was similar to opening up a stasis cube,
Okay.
which you notice you were able to pop open far quicker
Yeah.
than people
All
were
right.
able to.
I
open
reach
open.
in and here, let me do it.
As you're drawing the sigil, you guys all start to slowly kind of get back your hearing. Not quite. It's hard of hearing, so it must be pretty loud. But there's kind of a thunderous roar that's coming from the tunnel system.
Got it by 7.
I'll try to throw up a
Yeah, we
elder
should- if I
sign
had
that's
another
right
nuke,
there
I'd
at
throw
our
it down that
entrance.
tunnel too.
Okay.
What's that?
They're coming. We gotta hurry up here. Chop, chop, people.
Yep.
Are you
I'm
trying to do a
open
fairy
it.
fire effect, or
Yeah.
you can give me a fairy fire?
Do it by 5 to your operation.
Okay.
No pluses with Scarlet.
Open, please.
Given from how many were in the city, I mean, you
Yeah.
must have at least dealt with half of them.
Right.
Seriously?
I would hope at some point they'd be like, maybe we should reconnoiter this a little bit. But
Kill one more and have to make a morale
No
check.
pluses with Scarlet.
That's how
Exactly.
it works.
Scarlet pluses.
Exactly.
She'll still give you a +3.
So So where do we want our fairy
5-4?
fire outside of the...
By 4? All right, then you can give me a
Well-
symbol drawing, then an elder sign.
We have a rug where at the top of
Symbol
the
drawing
tunnel,
by
you know?
6.
Okay,
Because-
you'll get a +3.
Right, I know we've
Father's
got one
the
there, but I
which
was
one
thinking
again?
get it outside
Father?
of the... Do we want to put a
Father would
transpose
cut a,
signal
for
on
this
the outside
particular.
of the-
We
you
had
probably
one
want the
before
Son
we
or the
entered
Holy
the
Spirit.
rooms,
The
knowing
Holy
we
Spirit
couldn't
Father.
figure it out, but
Father
there's
would
two
cut off
walls
somebody
in
from.
between.
So we
I'll
can
do
go
the
right to
higher
the wall of
I'll do the
room
sun.
from here, step through the wall, but we don't have one on the other side to then go out.
we do.
Not on the other side of the wall.
So
By 2.
Because we've got
If-
like our, if this is the city,
It's not
we've
very-
got like our entrance point, right?
To-
And then this
Since
is
I
the
got
big
a
tower.
decent foxfire,
We've
can I
got one
redo
inside.
the elder sign then? And so,
Right.
since I got a decent symbol drawing, can
And
I
there's
redo
one
the elder sign?
outside.
It's yeah,
So
possible.
okay.
What did you make on
here's,
your roll?
Here's
B?
the tunnel. Here's our big facility, right?
Yeah.
What did you
Here's
get?
where
What
we
did you
are.
make on your roll?
Made
Right?
5.
So we
5?
put a rug there.
Did we?
It does
Yeah,
seem
right,
like there
right
are.
before we entered the hard to,
Oh, we did. Okay.
but I don't think we put one right.
You've
I put
never
one on the
seen
inside.
Okay.
So I
sigils
put one on the
drawn like
inside,
this before,
and then
except
you
faintly
drew
on
this
the
one.
stone that
So-
you'd recovered.
Yeah, you're right.
right.
Because we
They're
had to
stacked
make the walls
over each
come
other
down.
very intricately,
Right.
Yeah.
and it's almost technical.
And then now we're down in the tunnels. and
the
we've got
object does
some
open
strip
up.
on
I
the
honestly
tunnels.
wasn't.
It
paying
seems like
attention to
several
what
of
you were
the
putting
new
in the
sigils
tunnels.
just
I did
immediately
3 of them in the
disappear.
tunnels.
Okay.
And then
Just that.
slowly a figure pops out. You guys would be aware of that as well. There's a figure that slowly moves out from the cylinder.
Okay.
Apparently, I do not have a picture of him, but he seems to be a.
That's extremely
we've
disappointing.
We've been
I
on
just
the
want
quest
people on
for
the internet to
Lanan.
know
We
that
don't
I
even
have
get
a
to
very
know what he looks
disappointed look
like.
on my face.
I'll get you a picture. I thought I had it on this, but maybe I don't. Part of the problem is when I update this on different computers, it doesn't necessarily update, and I have to get the right copy. However, he seems to be an individual that shaved head. He does have a beard, multiple tattoos. They appear to be Mew in origin. He's wearing some sort of what you'd say is decorative spirit, or was a decorative serpent suit. And what the hell have you? He does seem to be kind of like a generic race. You're not sure. I mean, he could be like a tan Caucasian, or maybe even like a very pale Indian. It's hard to tell. Otherwise, he seems to slowly kind of get out of the what the hell is it? The cylinder. And those of you that have absolute timing, all of you can determine that he seems to jump out of the cylinder almost instantaneously. Those of you with absolute timing have just lost track of about 3 seconds.
Okay.
You wouldn't see anyone, actually. And Browning doesn't register anyone there either.
Okay.
The individual just seems to stare at all 3 of you and just kind of looks directly into your eyes.
You need to start talking to you.
We're going to need your help. We need to get out of here. We're the good guys. The world's coming to an end. We need your help.
You guys can give me perception
You
checks.
should maybe tell them we're here to rescue
Earth?
them.
And we're here to rescue
Earth. Earth.
you. What did you tell me to roll?
He probably
Perception
understands snake language, by the way.
Ooh, I tried Snake Man.
Acheron. Wow, that was pretty.
I use my harmonica, so you should understand.
Okay.
That's 7. Unless it's visual. Then
Oh!
Just regular perception. 5 or 7 if it's visual. I got 7.
7
Okay.
or 10.
So I either got 12 or 13.
Okay.
Bye.
So anyone making it by at least 4, you are still a bit kind of startled based on what happened, the explosion, what have you. But the noise has stopped completely. You don't know why.
Can I hear myself talk?
I mean, kind of. I mean, there's still obviously that ringing in your ears. Initially, he doesn't seem to respond. Based on your body language,
You want us to roll that, or
Or is he rolling?
no. Rice can't see this, unfortunately. However, Steve, you think he probably does understand Acheron, and you'd imagine that the harmonic key is at least allowing him to understand you,
Okay.
but so far has not said anything.
Can you speak?
Also, you would notice that, what is it, Jeb and Jeb and Browning are acting as though no one is there.
You don't see him.
let's not worry about the mysteries.
All right.
We should take
You need
the,
to start convincing
we should
them that
take
we're here
the
to help
capsule
them.
with us. If
We
we
can't.
We
Said
can't.
My body language is wrong.
Why not?
But still.
It
Do
doesn't.
you listen
it's not
to
going
anything
to
else I
tell
tell
you.
you?
Oh, okay.
You need to start diplomatizing this guy.
All right. I try to.
At this point in
I
time,
am trying to look around, if, where the thing is, to see if there's anybody else around, or just.
there's a dark mass back there, but it's not moving at all. I suppose based on your perception check now,
Are
you
Browning
feel
and Jeb moving?
everything is off about the timing.
Are Browning and Jeb moving?
Yeah, they're moving around.
Okay.
However, what is it? As you started to say diplomatize, the individual does respond. He says that it's quite unfortunate the exarchs seem to have lost their humanity. All of you hear this. His lips seem to match Acheron, but even if you don't understand Acheron, you understand what he's saying.
Okay.
And he will say then what is it? He's forced to take alternative measures like the others. He seems to grab for what appears to be a rune that's on his forehead, like it's a real object. Then all of you can give me perception checks.
Can we just do that?
Even Browning and my...
If I
Yep,
pass
even
by,
you two.
if I pass by 12 on the last one, does that carry?
Roll
over?
again.
Different roll.
Visual or just perception? Is it visual based?
No, this is perception.
Okay.
If you have awareness, tell me.
Pass by 6.
By
I don't think
5.
anyone does except Browning.
Have what?
Awareness.
Nah, I got 3D spatial sense.
No, not for this. So 3,
Only
3,
5.
5,
6.
6. There was something, it was almost tangible when he pulled something off his head, and now he has a physical object in his hand. However, it was a slightly overwhelming force, but he couldn't quantify what it was or what happened. It's just kind of almost like a sense of vertigo. With a 6, you would also notice with a 6 that B's, not his object, but B's goggles of revealing have spider webbed. However, she might not be aware of it.
What does spider web mean? Like crap?
The glass in them have just completely shattered.
That's really sad.
You made him like how long ago? And they were like crap when you made him with the dwarves.
Otherwise, he holds the object in his hands, and he does look towards, pretty much you three, and he does ask whether or not Michael Larson can be trusted.
Yes.
Yeah.
At that point in time, you send... because there's Shroud. All of you now immediately can give me a body sense roll.
I tip over.
I'm with you.
You don't have body sense?
Fuck no, I don't have body sense.
Pass
At the
by
point I
8.
can use on something else.
8.
By 8? Okay, you're good.
Oh.
Most body sense rolls are at average. I would give
8.
this one at a +2.
8. So by 10.
By 10.
You
I
made
don't
by
have
10
body
too.
sense.
You guys are slightly...
So you
it's
made
not
it by
that you
10 as well.
In this
I make it by
instance,
10.
it's not that you tip over. It's just you were not at all prepared, so you're kind of looking, and you're like, and there's now immediately something. What is it from? What you can tell, you can give me a thaumatology because you had an active sense Steely running at this point in time.
I have my goggles on. I don't have pharmacology.
There,
Your goggles are
Your
broken,
goggles, as you
broken,
kind of
B.
hold it down.
Why?
Doesn't seem to be working.
Oh, okay.
by 8.
I'll tell you, your goggles are freaking broken.
You did not
And I
detect.
will shout this because
You do know that you're not in the same location that you were. In fact, you're at the Chantry at this location. From what you understand, there was a fairly powerful ward at the Chantry that should prevent teleportations. You didn't detect anything, and this is definitively not a transpose.
Okay.
You said maybe by 8.
Yeah.
The only thing you've ever heard of anything like this is a spatial distortion.
Okay.
However, you didn't see him draw any sigils or say anything.
Okay.
You seem to be now in a hallway, and you guys are immediately looking at the back of Michael Larson, who at this point in time seems to pull up his staff and create some sort of massive primal fire wave down the corridor. And as you're slowly getting your bearings, the Chantry halls look kind of like shit. And after, ultimately, there's a huge blackened corridor that's in front of him. He immediately turns up around and throws up a fairly impressive pentagon ward towards you until he kind of adjusts. What the hell's going on? How did you came behind me? Why aren't you evacuating?
This is Lana.
What do you mean?
He's from Mew.
You need to get him out of here immediately.
What's going on?
What is it? He seems to be he's a little bit more composed. He'll tell you that there was an assault on the Chantry.
Yeah.
Apparently, from what he will tell you, is someone had walked in and through the wards. It seems as though he knows a lot more about what it is specifically, but he purposely seems to restrain himself. He says an individual matching Franck Liberte's description passed through the wards, and initially he was stopped, but apparently there's something. They'll
What the
tell you
fuck
that
is the professor doing?
Part of the Chantry spatial pocket has been ripped asunder, There's apparently an aspect of the King in Yellow. Nefandi and Chocho are pouring down the halls, and they're evacuating everyone to Europe, South America, and to the Middle East, at least the Chantry ways right now.
Okay.
He says...
Which one do you want us to take them down?
He says any of those are fine. Just continue to kind of move people this way. You can see kind of what appear to be the burnt skeletal remains of a few individuals that were most likely on the hell that Michael Larson just kind of threw down the corridor.
Okay.
You occasionally will see strange wisps of smoke, and he'll tell you to... they seem to be like weird spirits moving around, but they pass by you, and he says they're harmless, just continue on.
Who's telling us that, Larson?
Yeah.
Larson is.
Okay.
However, at this point in time, it seems like this Law-Na individual, you've never confirmed whether or not it's him, but he seems to do the same thing to Larson and just stares him straight in the eyes.
Okay.
And then as you guys are done talking, he simply disappears.
Law-Na does?
Yes, Law-Na does.
Oh, that's helpful.
Give him a minute. Maybe he'll help us out.
Larson seems to, act a little bit surprised and said, "Did he read my mind?"
I would
Probably.
imagine.
I'm not sure he trusts you anymore.
Did you just have a conversation with him while none of the rest of us were moving?
He said no.
He didn't need to.
You didn't detect anything like that. He grabs onto the communication stone that he had, and the Chantry, I can't remember if you guys wrote it down, but at one point in time they gave you one.
Okay.
He holds on to it, and everyone within the Chantry can hear that there is...
It's digging in my pocket here.
We traded it to a...
Yeah. He holds onto the communication stone, and everyone can hear in their mind that there's a priority VIP that needs to be extracted from the Chantry as soon as possible. Can anyone determine where he is? You'll see that, what have you, Michael Larson starts detecting like a large prime detection, and initially he spends a little bit of time on that, and you guys can decide if you're doing anything in the Chantry specifically.
I'm looking for threats.
You can give me a sense stealing.
The chance
I dial my dial down to 1.
Well, let's Scarlet if she can smell Law-Na.
She kind of rounds the area, and she loses track of it right where he's standing.
And the Chantry's the people who heal us normally, right?
The Chantry, was it,
Or was
from where
it
you
the-
are right now, the Chantry sits in a massive spatial pocket, you assume, somewhere. However, the areas leading off, roughly, this is kind of hard to describe to other people. For your character, the areas leading off to where Nepal would be have been completely rended. There are gaps in space, and it seems like it's unraveling from that end. But it seems as though somebody has placed some sort of ward. It's mostly been up for probably, you'd say, 30 minutes or more. So obviously before you've been here. But someone is trying to secure this area, and it's very powerful.
Okay.
The spatial ward in the region.
Okay. Law-Na's at that spot trying to keep the breach from getting bigger.
Well, it's 30 minutes old. So
yeah, I still say it.
Law-Na's at that spot.
He gained 3 seconds, or I lost 3 seconds when I looked at him, so...
Michael Larson's...
That's what I tell Larson.
The color from his face does turn down a little bit. He says that the people that have found him are the tribunal members. Yep.
Sorry. Do we have 2 members in here?
Yep.
Oh, good then.
Yep. I gotta go get my card.
Yeah, I have to grab my card as well. What have you. So, where are we here? He says the individuals that have eyes on Law now are currently in a void with 4 of the other tribunal members, apparently fighting some sort of aspect of the King in Yellow.
Is it Frank?
It's the form he's taking.
Walter,
It's the
or was it Larson had told you that somebody matching Frank's description passively walked through the wards, and all hell broke loose probably moments afterwards. They haven't confirmed specifically,
Okay.
but
It's not Frank. It's
No.
just,
Michael
It's
Larson
aspect.
will tell you that he needs you to try to evacuate as many people in this region.
Okay.
He says that it's horrible timing that Law-Na is here now and in that
he's helping.
situation.
It might be the best thing, actually.
He says if Law-Na dies, he doesn't... That's
You'll be
the
exactly
last,
where you were before we came here.
He'll say, yeah, that's somewhat true. Otherwise, he's going to
Evacuation.
start evacuating people in other regions. He would desperately like to help, but frankly, the tribunal members are all far more powerful than Larson.
Okay.
So
Alright.
he doesn't really want...
Well, we'll just
He
try.
can't
That's
really
okay.
step up
We
to
help
that
evacuate.
big league game.
I'll
I go
ask
and I
him-
wipe his brow off. Don't worry, I'm used to working with really powerful people. But you better go deal with that.
So otherwise, Larson will end up heading with a few other individuals. You can see that there's a lot of people in the chantry. You've always seen people like 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, yada yada. There's a lot of people. They're still evacuating. He tells you that apparently Chocho and Nefandi are somewhere in the area. The areas, the chantry lines up until Europe, the Middle East, and what the hell is it, South America, are secure. Or I should say, at those points they're secure, but there's still people that have tried to escape into side chantryways or have inadvertently got themselves lost, or yada yada yada.
Are there any transposes that we can use to send them to?
Right now you have to be very careful about that because there's spatial rends in the area and it's kind of coming apart. Somebody might be able to intercept that. Ideally you would want to use a transpose to send somebody rapidly to that location.
Okay.
He said if you were very acute, you might want to use a fold space through the chantry.
We go through and round people up.
Yeah.
We stay together and work as a team.
I'll try to throw up a deflect prime.
How exactly
Are you
Browning?
bleeding it?
Where's Browning?
Yeah, I'm dragging him by his
Browning,
shirt
you're
collar.
pretty much dragging him.
So he's in the chantry.
He is in chant.
Ooh.
He's in the chantry. Supposedly there's massive wards to never let that happen.
Yeah.
However, Michael Larson seemed to be
being
somewhat
under
completely
attack.
flabbergasted that you guys were behind him.
Right.
And supposedly new people can't enter the chantry either. Those all trigger the wards.
Yeah.
The same thing with the spatial wards. You can't, from what you're understanding,
Yes,
you cannot teleport
we
here.
get it, Lana. It's like, God, okay.
So,
I did.
How you doing, Browning? You bleeding to death back there?
he says, I think he's making more than's leaking out.
Or? Okay.
He's good. You can just see there's like
I'll
bones on the nubs of his fingers, and he's like, yeah.
I'll keep dragging you then. Is
I
this
will
where
say,
he meets his end?
in the
I do deflect prime by.
Pull out the
When
pillow.
he's not looking, I gesture like I did. I shrug my shoulders.
Decide when you want to cut that string.
Otherwise, there's a few people heading through the area.
I have to see if I have guilt
Given
complex.
your
Just a moment. I bumped it off.
given your sense of direction, you can start leading people out of the region.
Okay.
There's a lot of people, strays, kind of wandering about. You imagine there's just going to be a fair amount of people that have locked themselves up in their rooms that you're not going to be able to just. There's thousands of people that are part of the chantry.
Okay. Here, why don't you drag Browning a little bit? I got a sense.
You guys can give me a urban survival
Yes.
or a, I'd say a search at a -2.
I do have a million survival labs.
Search.
8, 11.
Not using those dice.
urban survival by
Or no, you said -2, so that's right.
urban survival by 2.
By 7.
Which one? By 7?
Urban survival.
Okay.
Search by 3 with the minus.
You want to search?
already applied.
You guys are good. For the most part, you roughly have an idea based on where you've gone through the chantry before, where some of the key kind of critical areas for bunk rooms are and things of that nature. You're not going to be able to make it to every individual chantry room, but
We
hopefully
try.
at least you can get the key points that a lot of people are going to be at if they are at that location. Ultimately, you've probably evacuated 30 to 40 people so far. There's a lot of kind of stragglers around the areas. You've occasionally heard explosions, primal blasts, other things of that nature pretty far off. However, immediately you hear a scream come around the corridor, probably not 15 meters at a T-junction. So it'd be this way off to your left heading towards the spatial rift. But you guys are still fairly far off from that location.
What does it look like?
You haven't heard anything. These are just chantry walls, so it's a corridor.
Yeah.
Like
That
some
was-
sort of...
Here comes the Nefandi.
what is it?
Those are things we fought in the basement?
No, this is the thing that we fought that almost killed everybody. Miss Eckert had to stop it.
The thing that...
I'll do a primal.
why are they attacking here?
Because they hate
Because the
everything.
king in yellow opened the
The
They
way.
want-
Fandi, what is it, want to unravel
Right.
everything, and apparently the Magi usually try to stop them from doing that. So
They're diametrically opposed.
The Ordo Hermes is probably their main antagonist.
So the Order of Hermes is.
But
the
then again,
chantry.
everyone's
They're
kind of
not
their
separate
antagonist. It's just the
entities.
Ordo the Ordo Hermes is the most effective at stopping the Fandi.
All I'm saying is get ready.
I'm getting ready.
So far, you haven't heard anything as of yet.
We heard a horrible scream, like you said.
I'll
Yeah.
do a primal defensive stance.
It's fairly quiet after that.
Us Browning are Nefandi vulnerable to lightning. Ask your man.
You'll see. He kind of looks over and he's like, "Are Nefandi vulnerable to lightning?" He says that most of them are technically still people. So yeah.
Is Zyke's there?
Yeah, Zykes is here. I thought I can't come here. Never mind, he's here.
Do you have any pluses from Scarlet?
You still have your +3.
So I do a deflect prime by 8.
Still here. Good to know. Good to know.
Deflect.
So Sykes is just like, because he's in the chantry, place he can't be.
9, 3, 12, 11.
Doesn't mean he's stealing things. There might be nothing here that he wants.
We head the opposite way from where we heard the screams of late. Are we gonna go try to stop the
How
screams?
far away from
We should
Michael
go to the
Larson's
scream and see if there's
office
some
are we?
innocence there.
From Michael Larson's office,
It
you'd
needs
probably
saving.
say 400
My
meters.
button, I think.
It's
What did
quite
you
a bit
say?
farther back towards the European area.
She said we're going away from
And
the scream,
that was
right?
where
I
he
said,
stored
well, shouldn't we
the
go towards the
Jesus
scream and
things,
see if there's
right?
some innocence that need to be saved?
You don't think he stored them in his office. You're not quite sure where they keep their
I don't know
artifacts.
innocent thing.
I do kind of smile at you.
So screw you.
You know, you're not quite sure where they keep their artifacts or other materials like
So I think we're losing the Jesus things.
No, we're not.
that. Most of that
Gator
was
fish
actually
is not
near
gonna
the
take long.
entryway that was closed in London, so that might still be behind protected lines.
Keep on looking for people.
Okay.
We should try to recover that stuff. It was integral to taking down the You're not going to find that anywhere.
Continuing to move forward, if you back up and kind of go around I suppose, are you moving forward past the noises, or were you moving back behind and trying to recover people back there?
Trying to recover people back by the
Yeah.
screams. Presumably there's some horrible event happening. We need to stop it and save
So
people.
forward towards the noises or back
Away
behind
from
you?
the screams.
I thought we were trying to save people over by the screams. No?
It's whatever you guys want to do.
That's what I was taking us to.
Okay.
Double
The
check
screams,
this
then.
ads.
Gotta do it.
I'm moving towards the screams.
If anything, I would say that these are civilians, and some of them aren't even of age. So,
Yes.
being the defensive, soldiers on duty here,
Okay. We go towards the screams.
That was how
We help to reinforce the screams.
before our shadows are burned to the wall.
Add to the screams.
coming into the region, there's an odd.
Actually, before we get there, I do want to fire off one of my.
Hey,
Well,
you
put
should
on
put
my
a transpose sigil
my
down in
primal
the safe
ward.
area.
I'll fire that up.
okay.
I do mind
You
barrier.
should put a
by 6.
transpose sigil down in the safe
Is
area.
my
You
mind-
just got done telling us
is
we
my
can't
mind barrier
transpose it,
still
I'm pretty sure.
These
You
are the
said
ones
we
I've already
could.
done.
Spatial.
No
Supposedly,
transpose.
there is teleportation inside the chantry, but supposedly you can't teleport to the chantry. There's
Yeah.
wards.
These are what I got running right now.
Okay.
Deflect
Those
prime,
work.
deflect harm, primal defense, and mind barrier.
Okay.
I only made my primal ward by 2.
Put down a transpose sigil.
You
Okay.
get a -4 to anything else.
Alright, it's probably what I. Oh, jeez. Alright.
Each one of the active spells that you have running is a -1 unless you buy the technique off. I would say things like, what is it, Cat's Grace doesn't count for that. It's kind of the next effect.
Put a transpose sigil down.
Primal ward by 2.
By 2, there's a basic primal ward up and running.
Okay. Is it really a count for anything? Or,
It wouldn't
It's
stop.
tissue paper.
It wouldn't stop one of your primal blasts.
So I'm naked.
Yeah.
If we've got time, I'll try to power it up again.
Please put down a transpose sigil.
I don't have any. Go ahead
Before-
and put down as many as you want.
Before you
on.
get to the next region, you can find off in the the one corridor where you ended up hearing the screams. There's one unfortunate soul that seems to be still alive. People have would appear to be sunken into the the wooden ground below them. Everything's warped, like it's made out of clay.
There you go.
One of the individuals obviously died of shock. The other individual is fused into the ground, and he's just kind of looking helplessly. He hasn't noticed you as of yet.
Is it made out of wood or is it clay?
The ground is made out of wood, but they seem to fuse into the ground, into the
I
carpet.
got one way to get him out.
I can draw them out.
Okay.
The
I'm
other youngster that was back there looks
Can't
like he
you
might
just
have died
disintegrate
immediately
part of
from
the
shock.
floor?
No.
We should keep an eye out for the Nefandi that did this. I'm looking for this.
B, take this charcoal.
Scarlet does not like the smell in here.
There's Nefandi in here. That's
Yeah.
what did this. Kind of spread out a little bit.
You can.
I'm trying to spread out. I'm
Wood
trying to get
becomes
these
very
guys to
easy.
All
spread
right.
out.
Now going into base speed, Barton. The first thing you guys immediately see is there's a wooden-esque individual that moves through the wall. He seems to form of the wall and then kind of come out, and you see roughly a humanoid figure that walks in the midst of the two individuals and turns slightly towards you. Scarlet doesn't like him, so you can decide what you're doing.
I think we found a Nefandi.
Can I do a primal blast at him?
You can.
Is it? Am I going to hit anyone else?
there's that kid that's still alive. I mean, for the most part, he's probably dead in a minute. Given your sensibilities,
Gentlemanly would be the only kind of thing I could do is to kill him.
Gentlemen,
Just sort of stomps on his head.
actually, you have a sense of duty, or was it pacifism, innocent people, or
Actually,
sense of
finished
duty?
early up
So
there.
one of those.
You can't fire on it knowing that if you do well in your primal blast, you're
Wasn't a
killing
lot of
him.
people here today.
Even if I target it.
Maybe if
What
you
I'm saying is, if you roll really well, you're taking out a chunk of the corridor.
Can I do a?
There
full-
are other variants of primal blast, but
But
the
you're doing
basic
Okay,
one you've been
so
taught.
You're doing
to
the
get,
grenade
to get
one.
around that. Just I'm here. Fold space up around in front of the thing, and then
That would be a dedicated action, meaning
So-
you wouldn't be able to defend yourself because you're doing 2 magics in a turn.
You're a gentleman. You'll take it on the chin for the kid.
I'll do it. Fold space first. Of course, it's not dedicated if I fail my fold space, right? And don't get on to the next part.
No, it would still.
Oh, okay.
You kind of start this.
Five.
You get on the train at the beginning
Fold
of the
space by
process.
9.
After that, you can try to jump off a moving train.
Fold space by 9. Primal blast. Nope. 9. So there's 13. So that's a 12. Failed primal blast by 1.
It just didn't kick on.
I'll keep the fold
Dusty?
space open though, and kind of step to the side if I can.
Okay.
I crush my monkey skull and burn my serendipity. Basically, I'll say that as he's looking at us, there's an image on the wall behind us that reminds him of something, and he kind of gets mentally stunned, replaying some ancient memory in his head.
Oh, monkey skull.
I don't know if it's going to work or not, but that's my serendipity thing. I think I have to activate it.
Really?
If it stuns him for a round or two.
You're still human, right? He still can be cut.
He's got a head going on up there.
From what you guys can see, this individual, or whatever the hell is in front of you, that seems to be kind of moving and molding with the wood floor paneling, generates some. And be able to tell.
Cross out the monkey skull.
You can tell that he's generating some sort of effect. You can't tell what it is specifically, but it seems as though he identifies the fold space that's active, and he seems to channel some sort of effect pretty much immediately right next to you guys,
Yeah.
but it passes by, and the far wall seems to deteriorate into nothing, leaving essentially an opening into void space. Not, I shouldn't say void space, but empty chantry space. For whatever reason, he destroyed the far wall. Otherwise, it seems like he's fairly confident in using these two-way tunnels.
Now you guys should hammer him.
No,
So, yeah.
now I turn on my watch and I float 3 inches above the floor.
Exactly. First I dig the lipstick out of my ears.
Now it right.
Here's what I'm going to do.
I'm at a -4 if I want to use something else.
Yep, with those running right now.
If I drop 1, it's a -3.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we did a plunder from the loot site, didn't we? From the Ith.
Yeah, but we haven't done it.
I'll drop.
Just weighing us
I pull out
down.
I'll drop deflect
one of the
arm,
ancient artifacts and I start to study it. What do I get to learn before I die in the
and
next
then
second?
I'll try to disintegrate him.
It's like, that is the artifact for ascension. You've just ascended a plane of existence. Good
Foxfire,
job.
symbol drawing, then mute, right?
There you go. You don't need your body anymore. Okay.
7, 8, 9, 8. By 6 on Foxfire.
Put some quintessence and willpower into it. Just do it for me.
It seems as though he reacts to the foxfire and it breaks apart around him.
I don't think we're winning this one.
Always
So
win.
far, it's up to D, and all I have is a laser gun.
We didn't win the last one
He's
either.
gonna
and I got
be
extra
like,
points.
wait,
All right.
this is technology. Oh!
Well, mind you, supposedly Taomi was a fairly strong Nefandi.
Yeah.
I mean,
This guy's a chump changer.
who knows?
Exactly. He's only walking through walls and tearing holes in space that we couldn't even do if we wanted to.
I think you tear holes in space all the time.
No.
Not when we want to.
Not when I wanted to, exactly.
All right, that's all I can do for. I mean,
You still have your defensive action, luckily.
Yeah. So, my lightning camera, it looks like I probably hit things behind this guy, right? Innocence halfway sunk to
You
the
would
floor.
char the entire channel.
Yep. So
Mind you, definitely hit him, you think, but
Right. So, I have a pacifism, can't harm innocence, so I'm not
that
going to use my
one
camera.
that one man's still alive.
I can't do that.
She's got eidetic memory, doesn't she? Remember certain things like, they can't be affected by material things.
That guy on the ground certainly can.
Well, I know he can, but the thing where the targeting thing can't.
Now, Taomi was supposedly a fairly strong one, so you don't know.
I passed on my laser pistol.
I mean, there was 2 things in the corridor that Michael
win.
Larson burned. Whether those were Chocho or Nefandi, you don't know.
You said I had a defensive spell left still? You said I had
What's a
defensive
Chocho?
moves?
You have a defensive...
I'll put back up deflective.
There's chihuahuas that are also Nefandis.
I wish we were fighting a Chocho. We could find out.
So I shoot him with my pistol.
12.
Get a bulk penalty. 15. And on my 5.
Okay. And you are
Let
firing...
me see how many shots can I fire. I maximize it.
What are you
12 shots. Ray gun laser pistol. 12 shots.
Melt the barrel!
Every time you shoot, that sound.
What'd you make it by?
5.
So how many hit him?
All second. Yeah, pretty close.
It seems as though half of them hit the far wall, the rest of them impact on him. You can roll for damage.
6 of them. That'd be 18 dice. 15. 18.
Alright, roll some big damage. I want to see.
Do you want them separately or armored visor 2?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Armored visor 2, 9, 8, 10, 12, 5, and 12.
You seem okay here.
And armored visor 2, did I mention that?
You are able to burn a pretty deep hole through whatever the hell it is. It seems to be wood solid through.
It's burn,
imagine-
burn damage. He's wood.
Yep, I'm aware. I mean,
Is it
there's
combust?
smoldering. I would say there's some combustion. You'd imagine that it would be dead.
It should be dead. I'll walk away.
You turn around.
Yep, I'm done.
We're back up to
Hey,
Barton.
spirit trap.
Barton, see you again. Go, Big Barton.
What the heck?
Oh yeah, spirit trap. So all I have to do is run under, put under his feet, tell him to hold still for a
Or
minute.
say fold space. Yeah, that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjust my fold space down at its feet, and I'm going to put it at our feet, too.
Okay.
Whereas, if someone were to have a... What the hell is it? That they slide in the...
Slippy slide?
No.
Ghostbusters?
No.
Oh.
Minnesota
A toboggan
sport
ride?
with ice and
And
sticks.
stones? Curling?
Yeah, curling.
Stone?
A curling stone. If someone were to slide a curling stone, it'd appear right under her.
Under her.
I still don't
It's an
quite
androgynous wooden
It-
figure.
So, I passed fold space by 4. It's already up, so I'm assuming
Yep, you can
adjust.
easily adjust it.
Speed! Push it through!
Dusty?
I'm looking at my laser gun.
Be push it through. Dusty.
Boo! Your new name is Boo.
So far, everybody's been trying not to hit the kid behind it, huh?
Most of us have codes.
It seems like they've looked at laser guns and other things like that might be pretty damaging, but so far they haven't attacked that kid.
What is your solution going to be? Just kill the kid?
I was just going to do a primal blast and get you BAM! Well, I can try to be a team player here as well. So what is it? You created a space behind him?
I created a
He
fold
created a
space
fold
in
space
front
that
of
runs
us
along the
to
ground.
her feet, so someone could curl a freaking ghost trap right under it.
You know I don't carry my ghost trap out. I have
I know.
to take out a suitcase, crank it, pull it off of a shelf, activate it. We're talking like 10 seconds.
Jesus, why
here.
don't you just keep everything on your person?
I do. That's all
Because
on my
then
person.
it counts as weight.
Rather than move. You
I've
guys
got everything in my imaginary backpack.
strap me
Yeah,
to
that's
a
the
dog
problem. You have to
and wheel
fucking
me
pull it
around.
out.
I will... I don't know that this will work or not, but I'll try it. I'll create an apportion on it,
Okay.
so inside of it. And I'll put 3 of my quintessence into it. So you have +6. So it's 5. Should be, what was that? 8. 14. Success by 14.
Okay.
So, and I took the penalty for making it happen on it, because I got that technique.
Okay. It looks as though part of the effect gets degraded,
Okay.
but you can end up rolling me 66.
66. Excited. Look at that awesomeness.
Once.
There's 4 of them.
Oh my gosh.
That's 12.
With your armor divisor for this effect, it seems to cut the thing in half.
Yeah.
It seems to be moving somewhat around in 2 pieces at this point.
All right.
Almost
You're not
as
sure if
they
it's
were
still active or if that's
connected.
just kind of post-mortem
It's still twitching. Just step away.
quiver. Who is it? Twitches.
You'll hear me yell, "You have to kiss it!"
At this point in time, Scarlet does turn. What is it? Turn into a large lioness,
Okay.
and it seems as though she breaks down a nearby door. She seems to be disregarding whatever the hell is over here now.
Okay, the thing.
You all can give me perception checks.
There's the real guy. The puppet master's over here.
No doubt.
My 5.
Visual or just straight up perception?
Straight up perception.
8.
4.
Right. Anyone that making my 6 or more, you can give me a straight up defense. Everyone else can give me a -4 defense if you have combat reflexes.
Okay,
Spinner fatigue.
what is defense? Do I get a bonus for passing by 8 and having combat reflexes?
So you get to make your straight up defense, and combat reflexes already adds to your defense.
I'll find out what
Can I
that
add to my deflect armor?
It's just if you didn't have
Failure.
combat reflexes, you wouldn't be, and you failed the check, you would not be entitled at all a check.
I can add to
I made it by 3.
So how do I roll?
I
this?
failed by 3.
Describe the
Look at your
effect.
dodge on the front of your character sheet.
It looks like coming from the room
Where
that Scarlet
is
was
this
trying to
number?
get into. The wall seems to wrinkle slightly, and the carpet seems to fuse with the ground near your feet.
Defense?
And at
Is
this
that
point in
dodge?
time, I'm assuming you step away from it. What was
Yeah.
your dodge? So
Yeah,
what was your
combat
dodge made by?
reflexes would-
If you failed your perception,
What are you looking for? Your
as in
dodge?
you didn't make it by 6,
Defense.
you had a
That's
-4
your dodge
defense.
right there. So you
Okay.
get 12.
Can I do an
So
acrobatics?
basically,
acrobatics.
I forget what you made your roll. So
Or I
basically
can make a
you're
dex
rolling that
roll
straight
to-
up.
So,
Give me an
You
acrobatics.
can do
and you can burn a
acrobatics.
fatigue.
You have
You
acrobatics?
said combat
Can I use my
reflexes
cat's
gives me a
grace on it?
bonus. I don't.
Huh? What now?
Can I use my cast
Okay,
grace
What
on it?
bonus does this give me?
That would be your defense if it was
I
already
think it
running
just
prior.
gives you a
could
chance
use
at-
magic defense, but then you wouldn't be able
Just
to
in
dodge.
noticing it. So just roll dodge and then tell him if you
Acrobatics
need
minus
+2,
what?
You got it.
So
Acrobatics -1.
If you just do beat
It's
it
an
straight
acrobatics
up,
straight
you do
up.
it, so you did it. So you can say I'm a winner.
pass by 4 for the dodge.
All right. You see the rippling, and you kind of just move a meter down as it kind of passes by the PCs.
Do I want to luck it?
I missed by
You'll be
3.
stuck in the floor.
I do have the effigy
bad.
that's supposed to protect me from magical effects. I don't know if that thing gets chewed up.
Okay. That wouldn't have triggered for the creatures, bud.
I'll luck it. Acrobatics by 6 there, and 6. Acrobatics by 6.
Okay. They'll give you +2 on your, actually +3 on your dodge. But if you failed your perception, it's still a -4, so you'd be at a net -1.
Missed by 5.
Ultimately, it feels as though the people missing their dodge start to sink into the ground. However, you seem to fall backwards. The small object falls off your person and seems to fuse with the ground below you.
Awesome.
You can take 15 points of damage to both of your legs as the wood reintegrates when your feet go down probably about 5 inches.
Who's doing that?
Me.
Spanky here.
You should have had platypus toys. This is awesome. I'm totally glad I was angry for a day.
That first one is pretty good because I thought I was going to fuck a lot of people with that. Like, here's the
You were
window and
depressed
just
for a
hitting
day.
the
He was
PCs,
angry.
a big portable hole right in front of your
Exactly.
face.
You didn't think that I was going to burn that serendipity, though, did you?
I don't know. You make a lot of strange decisions.
Deflect
sometimes.
armor.
Who knows?
But it wasn't the bottle he was going to trip over. Because I know that
Did
doesn't
the
work.
deflect armor prime?
Deflect harm does not do anything for this.
Gotta be happening between
Deflect
his
prime.
ears.
And did the Aztec tattoo also work on that? Because it's changing my form.
No, it's not changing your form.
Oh.
It's making your form part
it's
of the form.
doing normal matter damage towards you. The primal effect would degrade effect 2. You'd end up taking 13 points of damage to each foot. But that's still...
Are they both lopped off, or are you just fused in the
No, they're probably still there.
Yeah.
He's going to get his adamantine knife and cut out the deck plate. It was at the wood paneling. And pop, 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 pop.
It'd be like the guy from Family Guy, the
So I need to make a
pirate
death
or
check?
whatever, the ship captain that has
Yep.
2 stick arms and 2 stick arms.
So subdue and death, right?
That's for both me and Jeb. We've had so many limbs torn off and
And
whatnot.
high pain threshold.
Yep. You know, add all that stuff.
So
Otherwise, you'd be forced to go prone. Unfortunately, your feet can't move. You just fall backwards on your ass with your knees kind of up.
But I don't know if that's a good thing. If this thing's still rippling outward, then you're like, uh-oh.
It seemed to rapidly stabilize, and when it again, he can't dodge.
Gotcha.
made
You
it by a
just
lot.
sink more inches in. And,
Made the death check by a lot.
okay, then you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, portion your feet off. Crawl after us. That was my method of getting the kid up.
So
All right, we're at Steve.
Do I see anything in the doorway that his cat opened?
You can hear her growl, and she's running towards something.
But I don't see it.
You got to step
No.
in through the doorway to see it.
I step into the doorway and look.
There appears to be, what is it? You kind of step up. You do have the base speed. It's a little bit dark, but there appears to be some kind of haggard man. He almost looks like some sort of Sherpa, but there's an off
Tall
feeling you
shots.
get.
You hold the trigger, hold it down.
You'll take
shoot.
your bolt penalty on the weapon.
Oh yeah, 2.
you
So I
just
got
killed
15.
one of the tribunal members.
That's
No.
okay. Death to the
He
tribunal.
should have had his armband on so I'd have known who he was.
So 15 is what I need.
So when it comes to be Browning's turn, I'll
Really?
shout at him that he should have
Block it.
Oh,
Sykes
hold it, but I got
move him
2,
to another
4,
dimension.
8.
Block
So I
it.
hit by 2.
Lock it.
Have
I don't need
Sykes
to, I
move
hit
Jeb
by 2.
to another dimension.
Okay.
What's your recoil on the thing?
Hit by 2. 0.
Oh, okay.
And considering how he usually
He gets a
long
dodge, though.
listens.
So now,
Whatever, I hit by 2. That's what I got, man.
You could have left it and hit by lots.
Yeah, if it was 10:52, I could have left it. If you could bullshit him for 15 minutes.
All right.
he
Ian?
does seem to hit the ground. You're not sure if he knows what a laser gun is, but it kind of looks like a pistol. So
Right.
he kind of dodges and drops.
Yep. There he's on the ground.
Barton.
Bogey on the
It's
ground,
not,
old man.
What's his face's turn? Demon Boy? I don't think he's had a turn.
No, he goes after you.
Really?
I'm assuming he didn't really do too much initially.
What? You've got nubs for legs. You're not doing stuff?
He's mostly a torso that you guys are dragging around with you.
He pretty much just communicates with Zyke. So I mean, come on.
He's like, is it over there, guys?
Zyke, give me a sandwich.
Turn me around. Let me after him. Let me after him.
You should be still effective until you're ahead, and we put you on a little wheelie and use your tongue to push yourself.
Oh my gosh.
So, Burton, it's your turn.
What's the wood thing doing? I guess.
The wood is stabilized. It's solid.
No, the wood thing.
Oh, it stopped moving for
The
whatever
wood
reason.
mannequin.
Yeah.
Use your words.
The wood figure stopped
What's
moving.
your wood?
It's
That's in my
still
pants.
the legs halves that weren't cut off are still
work.
standing there in the
I feel like
corridor.
I'm talking to my boy. Take your finger in your mouth and use your words. I don't know what it is.
I guess I'll step in the door where she was shooting.
Okay.
Can I get around her before I do that?
She would block a shot. You'd take twice your bolt penalty.
Can
I would be trying to use the doorway for cover, so I wouldn't be in the middle of the door. I'd be like, oh, do. So there's plenty
I'm
of
aware,
room for
but
people
this
to
turn, this 1
Yeah,
second, you were in there firing, and then you
All right, that's fine.
pulled back. So
I'm just gonna
They
let
got-
my
He
full
lets B
space
have
go
it.
and be ready
That's
for
fine,
next
I'm
time.
good.
I yelled at Browning to do
don't
that.
take any
to get
damage
him
out
out
of
of there.
you can take
Totally
active
blast your
defenses and get a
ass.
plus
That's
2
true.
on your defense rolls, or you can take a double defense.
What's that?
You get 2 defenses if something attacks you,
Sure.
or you can get a plus 2 to 1 defense. It's up to you.
Double
Just-
defense.
Might be able to do it.
Double defense. So from there, we are now at.
Working on some union things.
All right. I suppose Browning doesn't necessarily feel that he is in a situation where he needs to escape,
choice.
but I suppose what is it? He'll have what is it? He'll go with Jeb. They'll try to phase him out.
It's like, hey, Jeb, I got you. He pulls out a saw.
Grabs
Grabs your leg.
No, brother.
Your feet are pretty badly damaged. You're not quite sure where you're sitting. This still seems to be what appears to be the chantry. You can still see people moving around. They're just slightly translucent. You're not sure if you're actually in another dimension.
I need to get back there. Whoever brought me here, I need to
At
get
this
back.
point in time, you're back. There's a smell of crimson, and you feel something just toss your ass into the
Son of a
corridor.
bitch.
Brimstone.
Try to stand.
The legs are shot. I mean, the feet are pretty much You have high pain threshold, otherwise you'd be screaming. It's like every fiber, every cell of your foot has been splintered. There's like still splinters everywhere. It's just your foot is now a wood chunk, and you're like, yep, that's still broken.
I'll try to bind those wounds so I can at least try to get up.
So in other words, they were
You can
still
pull
down
yourself
there,
through
they
with
were
your hands. Get in the fight.
By 9.
It's going to take some time for the wood to work its way out of your feet.
Yep.
But yeah, you think they're recoverable.
At least it's only in your
on the wood
feet at
or
this
your
point.
Dustinator.
I learned my lesson on that. I'm gonna eat a sandwich.
Can I get over to look through the doorway?
You can, like I said, B is somewhat blocking it, so you take a bulk
Just
penalty
turning
on a
into a
weapon.
big cat, like
It'll be a
out, that
small
sort of
penalty
thing.
to target
Have
someone.
you ever seen a
there.
dog that was in a wheelchair?
I see there's a guy in there, and I see Scarlet's in front of the guy
Definitely
and all
Yep.
that good stuff. I'll try to do an apportion effect on him.
Okay.
So, see what I get.
That's a dice, is what you get, buddy.
Whoa! I rolled a 3!
3, you say?
I did, so that's a 12.
And a critical
And a
success.
critical success on the die. On the guy.
All right. So you made it by 12, you said?
Yep. In him.
Magic.
So nothing comes to him, it's suddenly just, wait a minute.
You can roll 6d for the damage. It should have been a lot stronger, but it seems as though there was a fairly strong force veering it towards Scarlet, but it didn't connect. You're a little bit too strong in your effort.
Yeah. I only rolled 3 ones this time.
Awesome.
It is. That's 15, 16 points.
I like it. You're doing better all the time.
It's got an armor divisor of 10.
That's awesome.
And it's happening like right in his chest.
It seems like he doesn't register the pain, but his eyes just kind of roll back, and it seems as though he fell unconscious. There's kind of now guts kind of spewing out from the front of him.
Finish him. He's been hunterized.
Scarlet shortly thereafter grabs him by the throat and continues to jostle until he's completely not moving
So
or
Browning doesn't go up to the gods.
If you can sense magic things on him, you should bring it over to Jeb. He'll want that stuff. That's what I say. But you don't want to grab the cursed stuff.
Are you talking to the cat? Or
Yup. Talk to the cat.
The cat like shakes it a little bit more and just kind of drops
Looks
it
at
with a
me.
plop.
Alright, let's say frosty people. There could be more. I'm walking around.
I'm like a dog.
So I walk around like we have wooden feet.
Yeah, come on, Jeb, hop to it.
Take your cogs off.
Does the professor also have bind wound? Or no, Jeb doesn't ever
The
see
professor
it.
does. I don't know where that one die went.
Here it is. I
We'll
got it.
roll a good distance on this carpet.
Is this a decent spot to quit, or are we almost done?
It is. For the most part, there's still some, depending on what the PCs want to do and how many people they want to try to get out, there could be more conflicts. You're aware that there's things in
I'm
here.
sure we'll continue to run down the cheese grater until we're little heads, pulling ourselves in the hallway at times.
We'll get out before that.
I'll give everyone 4 points for right now. We'll pick up from here.
That's the most we've gotten in a long time.
That's because we're doing it.
I'll say it was brought to us.